I almost avoided even small talk since I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. You know, I haven't asked you anything about your trip. Definitely want to get into that.
Of course.
But how are you feeling? Like since walking in here, first of all, just to kind of establish some sort of foundation.
Excited, really.
Yeah.
Pretty get some good euphoria going. You rearranged the room, and I like it.
Yeah, it's actually bigger now because I basically took off the closet doors behind the couch, pushed that couch in there, organized it real nice. I don't know. Yeah, like my TV's gone. There's a lot of change here if you look around.
Of course.
You know,
so let's start with TV. Where is it at? And why is it gone? What's up?
Okay, so the TV is now in the living room on a table. I didn't get rid of it. I didn't get that impulsive, but I was impulsive enough to take it out of my room almost on a whim, and the PS4 and put it out of the room. A lot of it actually does stem from, I don't know, like these last 2 weeks there's been a lot of intertwining changes, like, you know, like finishing the book The Power of Habit, listening to a lot of podcasts to kind of fulfill my interest in learning about habit and educate me further on it, I guess, just help me understand it. So a lot of it's like habit, but a lot of it's also just like learning that the environment that you're doing certain things in, I need to rephrase this, I guess, like, so my room, I've realized, this is like my main space, and whatever I put in here, however I change the environment, changes kind of like what I do in it, like consciously and unconsciously. So like I put the desk in the corner of the room because when I'm writing or when I'm reading, and I put a nice, comfy but not like too comfy chair there, so I can sit in my chair, and I don't know, I look at that corner of the room where my desk is, and I just know like that's where I'm supposed to work.
Yeah, it's like, your workspace. That's a good work spot right there.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's like I even covered up the windows.
Yeah, but just noticed.
Yeah, so like I don't know, it's like, it's so OCD, honestly. Like I basically, like, for those or everyone who's just listening, I basically blocked off the first half of my window, like the first bottom half of my windows with black paper, because I want natural light to come in, because natural light, you know, actually like wakes people up more. And when I'm working, I want that natural light, but the view outside of my, like, you know, basement level of apartment is out the window is just a parking lot, and I don't want to be staring at a parking lot when I'm writing or reading. So I'd rather just be staring at nothing in a blank wall, and it's actually like really helped my not only my creativity, but also, again, when I'm just looking over at that area, I instantly like know, I don't know, something triggers, like neurons fire off in my brain that tell me, okay, yeah, now it's time to work, or hey, you know,
it's like a psychological thing.
Exactly, like it's also a neurological thing, like a physiological thing too. Like I look there and I'm like, okay, yeah, like I need to get some work today. Like I look at my notebooks, the laptops, everything there that just kind of like cues my brain to start working, and so that's part of it. And to circle back to the TV, the reason I got rid of the TV is that my neurons are still fired off when I look at that TV, and I don't know, it's like it's really easy to choose this form of stimulation. Like when I look at the TV and I know that I could so much more easily get some sort of like stimulation by playing Dark Souls or watching Netflix or something like that, because, you know, like throughout the day, especially someone that like always needs stimulation, kind of like me, I feel like I wake up and the first thing that like my brain wants to do is find something to occupy myself.
Yeah,
like that's
first thing you need to do is do something.
Yeah. So the thing is, it's that this is a place where I wake up, and if I look at my TV, it's like a lot of times I would just want to start doing that above, you know, like the work that I do. And as I've explained in earlier episodes, it's really important that I kind of devote my mornings to productivity when I have all the energy in the world, sort of.
Right.
And then I can, you know, play Dark Souls later if you know, I have nothing better to do and I don't have that kind of energy left at night.
So it really eliminates distractions in there. Sorry about that. That's the simple way to put it. I got rid of distractions. But there's a lot to it if you think about
exactly,
it. Exactly.
I guess I was trying to explain exactly the nature of it to not just seem like I'm OCD and like impulsively getting rid of everything. But essentially, this room now is devoted to to, you know, my work, everything that happens around my desk. It's where I sleep, and it's where I do podcasts and occasionally, you know, photo shoots. But so basically, it's just work and sleep now for the room. And so
you've turned it into an environment that's like best suited for you, for your character, and what you want to do. Then
exactly, and it really, there's huge effects psychologically. Like
of course,
I don't know, like I don't associate this little area of the room where TV used to be with like playing video games anymore, and I don't know. It's just like, or rather put it like this room, just it feeling like this, the environment of work, and the work that I love doing and stuff, and the fact that I know I can get all this fulfillment and stimulation from that work when I wake up in this room.
You could be inspired by it every morning.
Yeah, like one of the first things I see is my desk, and I'm like, okay, yeah, like this is me. And it further affirms my identity rather than when I look to the TV. It's like it's easy to be like, okay, well, I guess I might just be a loser who plays Dark Souls today. Like I don't know.
I'm gonna get lost in some How I Met Your Mother.
Oh yeah. Something. Well, I haven't. Not me personally, but
it was just a general idea. I don't know. You haven't watched that show in years.
But yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So like that's been a huge change lately.
Nice. No, I like it. It feels cleaner. It definitely feels more open. I feel a lot less restricted in here. I didn't realize like just loose around my shoulders and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, it is just it's just bigger too. Like of course there's the psychological like aspects of it just being cleaner and better for this sort of thing, like doing a podcast. But it's also just so much bigger.
Yeah, it is.
Like I also don't really have to go to the other room to do yoga anymore. Every morning, see, I guess that those are the other two things I use this room for. I wake up, and the first things I actually do is, you know, I do the yoga and I meditate. And it's like, man, I don't have to leave my room for a long time in the mornings. It's like pretty much until I have to eat. So yeah,
that's awesome. I really like it. Did this idea come from like a New Year's kind of standpoint, like a New Year's resolution?
Honestly, that wasn't even the catalyst. I don't think there was a New Year's sentiment really propelling me to do any of this stuff.
Right.
I kind of wanted there to be, but all this stuff happened it at least started happening weeks ago. I definitely wasn't as productive from December 25th to my birthday, December 30th. In certain aspects, I still did certain things every day, kept up on certain habits, but I didn't do as much as I wanted to, but no, this probably all started when I started getting into like fasting over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I noticed you're saying something about it. Fasting is like starving yourself. I don't know a whole lot about. I'm extremely uneducated on this.
Oh no, yeah, that's fine. I knew nothing about it until probably like a month ago, and then I just kind of wanted to jump into it because I have all these like digestive problems and. I don't know, it's like, it actually, I originally started fasting from, like, self-hatred, I think, because, like, I have these digestive problems, and so, like, when I eat, you know, like, sometimes, I'm one of those people that, you know, like, wants to eat for comfort, unfortunately, when I'm super stressed or depressed about life or something, and I just have a bad relationship to food, and so I initially was like, okay, well, fuck me, then I'm gonna, you know, just go a day without eating, and hopefully I'll feel better. And then I actually kind of did, and I was like, wait a minute, maybe there's like something to this, and so like I don't know. From then on out, I just started like researching fasting, and I learned a lot about like there's like tons of benefits, psychological, physical. You give your digestive system a break, and you come back to it better. And actually, I just recently I tried to do a 72-hour fast, but only got like 60 hours in, and then I don't know. I was like vlogging it, and then I stopped vlogging it, and that actually kind of got rid of that accountability that was like. Helping me stay on track.
Stay on it.
But no, so I recently did a 60-hour fast, so I'm still pretty proud of that, and to some extent I didn't eat anything for that.
Yeah, it's like 2.5 days.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So fasting, so more explaining, is going an extended time period without eating at all.
Yeah, but there's also intermittent fasting, which is what I'm doing on a daily basis now. Which is essentially at minimal. It's like what you're supposed to do is go 12 hours without eating, which isn't that hard. If you go to bed for 7 to 8 hours, then that just means that you have to not eat for 4 to 5 hours.
Okay.
Basically. So, like, and I was actually doing this by accident for a while, just so I kept eating breakfast late, because I'm not actually, like, I started to listen to my body more, and I started to realize I'm not actually hungry right when I wake up.
Right.
I think that is more like a societal thing, you know, like, fast food and all these different restaurants tell you you're supposed to eat every few hours. You're supposed to eat right when you wake up. You're supposed to eat a big breakfast right when you wake up. Started learning that's all bullshit from documentaries and reading about it and stuff. But yeah, so basically I go to bed, and then I don't usually eat until like 10 or 11, and then I feel better. It's like there's like this weird point with in the mornings where you know, like, I feel really good, and then I start getting a little hungry at some point, like maybe it's like 8 or 9, and then it's just like a small wave though, and then it passes, and then I feel like pretty energized. And I actually see theories on Reddit and stuff about this. In fact, a parrot doctor, you never really know, but a guy on Reddit who was a doctor, quote unquote, said that that's not real energy. That's just your. I love how he put it. He says that's just your instinct, your primitive instinct, telling you that, hey, you're hungry. Go outside and chase and kill a boar. Like, you need to eat.
You need to eat. Yeah. Here's the energy you need so you can eat.
Yeah, it's like, so we're not supposed to go so many days without eating, but the thing is, people used to, like, you know, go days and days and days without eating sometimes, because they just, like, couldn't find anything to kill.
Food, yeah.
Yeah, in fact, something interesting that I just learned about the reason why people crave huge, like, really dense calorie foods at times, like, you know, like steak and even like certain desserts and stuff. But I'll use steak as an example. People seek out and crave these types of foods. Certain doctors and I want to say anthropologists and stuff think is because long ago, when people were chasing down boars and, you know, fucking large animals and stuff, and back in primitive times, you know, they would go days without eating sometimes, and then finally when they do kill something enormous, you know, like, I can't think of the word right now, what's, like, the large elephants back in...
Oh, mammoth?
Mammoths. Yeah. I almost said a manatee, and I was about to slap myself. Like, that's not a manatee. It's a mammoth. Okay, anyway. So when people, like, kill a mammoth, though, that's a big old dense calorie thing that can feed your entire family. So the reason that people think that we seek out steak and crave steak more than we do, like, lean meats or even just, like, plant foods now, which we're able to do, we really seek these dense calorie stuff, because when people would go days without food, they'd kill a mammoth and then they'd eat this food, and there's kind of like these signals to their brain saying, you know, you may not get to eat for a long time, better eat a lot of this now, better get all these calories in so you can survive, you know, 5 days if you need to without food. So it's like, so now we could potentially be, like, tapping into those, like, to that prehistoric instinct, and we seek out these, like, these really dense calorie foods, so, to our bodies, so we can survive for days. But the way that we in our you know, our day and age register it is, this is really tasty.
I love steak.
Yeah, exactly.
If I do love steak.
I do too. Yeah, but I've been eating a lot less meat lately because of that, and I don't know. I don't want to get into the whole nutrition thing right now, because it's still pretty new to me, but to kind of sum it up, I've been eating plant-based and whole foods.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't need to get into it. I'm not an expert, but we should have someone on the show that, like, knows about this stuff.
Oh,
honestly.
Of course,
yeah.
in a few days.
Even your girlfriend Janet probably knows more about this stuff than I do, and I've been, like, kind of researching it. You know?
She can at least tell you she's seen a lot of vegetarian, vegan documentaries. She tells me about them all the time. I'm like, so what that means? She explains it, and so she's really good. She knows a lot of knowledge on it, and a lot of the benefits to eating, like, at least a vegetarian or vegan diet. Something like that. She can elaborate.
So you went back to Minnesota for 2 weeks. This is probably the longest amount of time you've seen your family since you've been undeployed.
In a year, basically.
Yeah.
I went last year before I deployed. I went there for Christmas or holidays. I was gone for 2 weeks. Then I saw them for my mom and dad for a day after my deployment. So now I was finally able to get out to Minnesota for a whole 2 weeks and hang out with my family.
And you brought Janet with you. And
yep. It was awesome because I was able to show Janet, like, introduce her to my family and everybody. Like, she's met my mom and dad and sister before, but just like she was hanging out and they're like, hey, what's up? They didn't. It was in high school, so it wasn't a huge thing.
This is where she kind of gets to be a part of the family.
Yeah, especially because her own personal business. Basically, I'll just say that she's not super close with her family, so being able to give her another one, kind of where she can really connect with, it's pretty awesome feeling.
Oh yeah, I can definitely relate to that. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to talk to her actually.
Oh yeah, definitely. I forgot. Like, you lived with me for 7 months.
Yeah, I live with multiple families.
Multiple people. You live with Hobo the Vet, right?
Yeah, Hobo. That's me. Deja vu. Weird.
Right. But yeah, so we got up there. It's a funny story. So we both landed. Her flight landed at 1:50, mine at 1:59. Irrelevant information, but it's kind of a funny story. So I'm like walking around the airport. The airport in Minnesota has 2 separate terminals, which is a common thing, but they're actually separated. Like you have to take like basically a subway to get from one to the other.
Weird. Extremely.
And I remember I went up to the information terminal and I was like, we were gonna meet at baggage claim. I was like, hey, there's a separate baggage claim for Terminal 2, me being in Terminal 1. And I was like, or is it all in the same spot? Because the way the sign seemed, it was all in the same spot. And she's like, yeah, it's all here. I was like, oh, okay. I'll go downstairs and I cannot find her airline's baggage, anything. I find a different information terminal. I was like, I need to get.
So it was like a flight from New York to Minnesota, basically.
Yeah. So the way we did it is I flew out from Colorado to Minnesota. She flew from New York to Minnesota, and we hung out there.
And you're in different sides of the airport, basically.
Yeah, and at least we were able to fly back here to Colorado together.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, so she was all the way far away. It's like probably 2 or 3 miles road-wise.
Jeez.
And I was like, what is going on? I am lost. And I talked to the information terminal lady, and I'm like, hey, I need to get to Terminal 2. Like, how do I do it? And she's like, questioning me. Like, why do you need to go to Terminal 2? She's like, your baggage should be over here. I was like,
she's like interrogating you?
Yeah, so I'm like, if I want to go to Terminal 2, just tell me how to get to Terminal 2. What the fuck, man?
What's your business in
it's
Terminal 2?
It's none of your business. Know my business in Terminal 2. You know? I'm like, oh my god. It was just like, I mean, it's not a big deal. Like, she explained that she just didn't want to send me to the wrong place, so she just had to ensure, like, she just kind of was, like, concerned.
Oh, okay.
Like, young dude, like, trying to get somewhere, like, way off. Like, I don't know.
I was hoping she was just, like, super sketched out by you, this, like, really clean-cut vet.
Yes, well, she was able to set me straight, went over there, got picked up from her mom and dad, and where they live is, the closest, like, small town is, like, 15-minute drive, and the small town has, like, no more than 3,000 people living there. I'd say, like, 2,500, approximately. It's super small. It's actually expanded since last time I was out there, at least in population. But super tiny, and then the actual city that's the closest city is about 45 minutes away, driving in good conditions. So blizzards a lot. It was blizzarding while I was out there.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Did you guys get a lot of snow?
Yeah, one night. And when I first got there, it was weird because it was warm. It was like in the 30s, which is pretty warm for Minnesota at this time of the year, from what I've noticed. There was no snow on the ground. And I was like, this is awesome. Well, what ended up happening is we got like, I don't know the exact amount, but I know it was between 12 to 16 inches of snow.
Oh, wow. Holy shit.
It was so much.
My parents, up to your calves in snow.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely ankle length right here at least. Wow. It was up to the calves a little bit in some spots. I shoveled a lot before I walked into it, so it's a little bit easier, but man, shoveling the snow in the driveway it took forever. It was actually kind of calming though. I found like a little peace and like a little zen out there. I was just by myself. Parents have a huge driveway, and just like doing it is quiet. It's in like I said, it's almost in the middle of nowhere. It's just like woods and forest. So I just hear like the wind breeze. I wasn't even cold. I just had a jacket on. I was working, and it was just super, super calm. I can just stay with my thoughts and kind of get a break from even my family, because everyone's family, will drive anyone crazy.
Exactly. That's why you have to get away from them eventually.
Yeah. So I was just out there. I'm just shoveling the snow and just seeing my progress on the on the huge driveway, getting rid of the snow was like expired. Yeah, I ran out of time. No, it inspired me a little bit to continue until like 2 hours later. I was like, okay, I'm done. But a while was just nice, just kind of a little peaceful situation. It was nice to kind of calm my mind and just move and do stuff. So.
That's I bet the environment really helped with that. You know, being in the woods and almost in the middle of nowhere. But also, it's interesting that I feel like when you're faced with a task like that, that's so it's just like kind of long and even a little bit grueling. It's like you either can lean into that and find that sort of zen, like a kind of a meditative state, or you can just choose to like just be upset the whole time. Just I compare it to also like when you have to drive like 10 to 12 hours, like 18 hours or whatever the case. You know, I've worked some long distance jobs like that, and I've driven to California and this and that, but on those long drives, like it's that same thing where you can either choose just to be like upset about the fact that you have to drive so long. Yeah, it is kind of miserable in some sense, or you can kind of like just find zen and just staring at the car ahead of you, or the open road ahead of you, and just like put in some music and just like
enjoy some music.
Yeah, and just listen to a podcast. Listen to Hobo the Vet.
It's probably the best thing you can do is listen to Hobo the Vet.
Yeah,
like if there's 3 things you can do in your life that are really good, Hobo the Vet's probably number 1. Not gonna lie, like listening to this is like if you could feed a starving child or listen to Hobo the Vet, you should probably listen to Hobo the Vet.
Just put those earbuds in that Ethiopian child's ears, and they will be set.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah.
We will feed him knowledge about shoveling snow.
Yeah, this is the subject matter of this episode so far. No, but yeah, I compare that sort of thing also like when I did like painting, especially. I can really express this sort of idea visually with painting, because painting commercially, you know, like I'm not like an artist, maybe a building artist you could call it. But when I was doing commercial painting, I was like going to schools and like, and basically like, you know, our subcontractor got hired to go and paint boring colors on boring buildings and stuff. You know, you get up on high ladders and this and that, and it's like. So it is physical labor, it's super grueling, but there was also something so satisfying about, like, having to spend so much time painting a wall, like, one color, and getting it perfect.
And then when you see that final product, though, it's, like, almost something to be proud of.
Yeah, there's, like, a huge dopamine rush, honestly. You're like, yeah, I did it. Especially since I was, like, so new to it, I was like, okay, yeah.
You're like, I'm successful.
I'm a winner. I paint stuff. But yeah, it's like I had to do the same thing where I just had to kind of lean into it and kind of fall into that zenful mindset, especially if I didn't have music on a day. Like, I especially had to lean into that, yeah.
Sorry,
are you feeling zenful now?
I was feeling the zen from the paint. I was visualizing the entirety in my own mind.
Yeah, you know, maybe we should have a separate like side podcast segment where I just talk about my days as a commercial painter, and I kind of talk like Bob Ross and, you know, very calmly.
So,
just imagine that I'm putting the primer on the wall.
So I want to support you on this, but as a selfish friend, I can't do that because it might be better than Hobo the Vet, and we can't have that.
No, we don't want Hobo the Vet to be outshined by our side segment about commercial painting.
It's just not.
No. I understand.
You'd be destroying your own project.
That's true. Yeah. So,
but is not starting destroying? If we don't let you do this.
All right, Tristan's getting a little too deep now. I want to get back to this. So you were in Minnesota with your family. You had a good time. Good Christmas.
Yeah, I'd say it was uneventful. That was the biggest thing, but it was peaceful. It was nice. I got to show Janet, my mom, my dad, my grandma, my grandpa, my favorite aunt. Shout out Sarah. Her newly engaged fiance, Devin, really cool guy. Like him a lot. It's pretty funny.
Wait, who is this?
My aunt.
Oh, your aunt's. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, got a little fast.
No worries.
Yeah, no, my aunt is just recently engaged.
I thought you were talking about your sister, Nikki.
Oh no, she's single. No. Oh, but Jan did meet my sister. They got along really well.
Okay, good.
It was good. Got to see some of my parents' dogs, the little Pomeranians. There's so many of them now. There's a lot. There's like 7.
They're just addicted? What? Why do they have so many?
Between my grandparents and my mom and dad, who live 5 minutes apart,
Okay, but when your grandparents come over, they come too. I'm guessing you just have all these little fluffy things running around.
And vice versa.
Jesus.
So there's like 7 dogs, and there's 5 newborn puppies too.
Oh my god. Do they get along?
Yeah, they all get along. It's insane.
Because they don't have any like racial problems because they're all Pomeranians, so it's like it's cool.
Yeah. Well, there's one that's not a Pomeranian.
Is he treated as a token, and for better or worse? Like,
it's a she, and she is treated equal to the Pomeranians. There's no Jim Crow laws for dogs.
Okay.
Surprisingly, I hate that little thing.
Oh,
no, I'm just kidding. Okay, good. It's a cute little dog. She's kind of ugly.
Okay.
But no, they're all good dogs. So it was just nice to kind of relax and didn't do anything. What we did do, just to recap, is I'm sorry, I was going to go backwards, but I'll start from the beginning. And I drew a blank. We did things, I'm really struggling right now. I'm so sorry.
It was just so uneventful.
We didn't do anything.
There were some dogs. I shoveled some snow.
My mom and dad bought a hot tub. There's that. We got to sit in a hot tub in a blizzard, which was
that's always been like a fantasy of mine. Just like being in the snow, ice cold, and then getting in the hot tub and killing all your nerves because your body's adjusting.
It's a lot of fun.
I just want to feel nothing. So I want to kill all my nerves via temperature. Yeah.
The worst part is the snowflakes feel like little razor blades. Like,
oh, really?
They feel pretty sharp almost.
Yeah.
Because their body is all warm and it's just this cold little tiny piece of ice just scratching you.
Yeah, that's hurting your nerves there. Yeah.
But it's not bad.
Like if you were to roll around in the snow, then jump in the hot tub, it's like you'd probably be a mess. I can't feel a thing.
A hot mess.
That's a good premise for a movie right there.
A hot mess?
Yeah. It's about a guy that rolls around in snow and maybe jumps in an ice lake and then jumps in the hot tub and then he kills all his nerves off and you can't feel anything anymore.
Then he's depressed?
Well, I don't know about psychologically, but he physically, his body can't feel anymore. But yeah, that was... In my head, I was kind of thinking that would be like the underlying, like the subtext of the movie.
Yeah.
Would be that, oh man, I
really can't feel.
Now that I can't feel, now that I really can't feel, I also realize that I can't feel anything inside either.
He's like, all I feel is sadness.
Yeah. He stars
torture.
Matthew McConaughey, maybe Kirsten Bell, like.
Yeah. I think this is the next summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
2020, here we come.
The romantic comedy for everybody. I just imagine the opening scene is like him just rolling around in the snow and then jumping in the hot tub. Like, what the fuck?
I think opening scene should be him like freaking out in the hot tub. I can't feel. And then it goes 5 minutes earlier and he's rolling in the snow. I'm visualizing this perfectly right now. I definitely wanted to start reading more, of everything. It's kind of been part of one of my new goals for 2019.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that. I've kind of accidentally made a lot of New Year's resolutions, and I didn't apply sentiment to the actual passing of a year. But I want to hear what you did because I feel like people should take advantage of that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, New Year's. It's not special. It's not to say that you can't start doing something new whenever you feel like you have to.
But again, you can use the New Year as a catalyst to send you off into all these things. I don't know. There is something to like telling yourself these sort of stories, like building these narratives in your head of like new year, new chapter. And if you really can like use that, then do it.
Whatever works, whatever inspires
exactly.
you.
Use the illusion. I'm huge about that.
Yeah, of course. If it works, it works, right? Yeah.
So what's new for you?
All right. So I actually haven't talked about any of these, resolutions. They've all been personal to me so far. I haven't spoken on them yet. So I think actually bringing them to vocalize them is going to help me sustain better than what I've done so far.
Probably specify on them because like if you just leave things in your head, that's why I'm so OCD about writing everything down because especially with me, I don't know, I probably have ADD or something. Everything just like bounces around my head and nothing feels too specific until I vocalize it. bounce it against someone else or just write it down. So yeah, I totally get that.
Of course. Yeah, so I was thinking, I think the biggest thing for me is that I want a more productive lifestyle. And so when it comes to productivity, is just bettering myself in other ways than what I've already done or what I usually do. Kind of get out of the norm and experience new stuff, you know.
So you kind of want to round yourself out, but also like, add new things to your lifestyle?
I want to be a lot more well-rounded. I feel like, you know, a lot of it has been, especially before my deployment, was I go to work, get off work, play video games, go to bed, or go hang out with Janet and do nothing, which spending time with her is like amazing, but now we're finding ways to occupy our time doing more eventful stuff than just watching like TV or something together.
And then even with somebody, you have to have your own time. So like it's interesting because even though you work full time, you have a girlfriend. Even though conventional ideas tell you otherwise, there's still so many hours in a day besides those two things. Like so many hours you could be putting into you know your physical health, your mental health, or like you said, just doing new productive stuff. You know, like exactly. I think you have a great mind. I think you could write some cool stuff. Like,
yeah, exactly.
All the stuff you do. I mean, I think everybody should be reading something. Some, you know.
And at the end of the day, I know that I at least have minutes to do something. If not hours, I still have minutes to do something. So if not, I want to, you know, read for at least 10, 15 minutes before I go to bed. Just so instead of like watching something in bed.
Start with that goal because like if you can just read. If it starts as little as reading 10 minutes a day, every day, if you start doing that for weeks, you'll start to enjoy reading more, and you'll just realize, like, man, like I should read more than this, and you'll just slowly increase your capability, like your reading capability, like your max of what you can do in every day, you know?
I feel like reading it's really good for your mind and your mental health, and you learn a lot from it. Yeah. Even if it's fiction, you could still...
Day to day, yeah. I mean, even fiction improves, like, your vocabulary, you know, just your communication in general, I think. I mean, you can't just learn how to communicate well from reading, but it almost seems essential to optimize your communication and your vocabulary.
Yeah,
you have to read.
Of course. And also, it's a good way to provide inspiration. You know, I can read stuff and be inspired by it, to go out and do stuff, or inspired in ways where to write my own... whether it's a book or a screenplay or something about that.
That's one of the best elements of stories, of reading stories, watching movies, and telling stories yourself, you know, is that a huge element to, like, enjoying stories. And the reason why I'm not a huge fan of, like, of movies that are just set out to, like, make you do one thing, like, whether it's a horror movie that's just meant to scare you, or a comedy that's just jokes, like, really jokey stuff, like, just joke. If there's no, like... If there's no, like, real theme to it...
like, true substance.
Yeah, no substance, no character having to defy some, like, crazy obstacle that will really inspire you and help you look at your life a little differently. Like, the really good stories, like, they have you relate to the character even if they're nothing like you, and you don't have to relate to them so much as you have to experience what they're going through. And then it's weird how you go back to your life and you apply similar obstacles that character went through to your life, and you feel inspired because you're like, that guy could do it, I can't. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of it's unconscious, and I'm not I'm not putting specifically what I'm trying to say down super well, but yeah, sorry, I'm passionate about the fact that yeah, you're into stories and
of course. I just feel like
even just soaking them up more.
Doing something like that is going to be extremely beneficial to myself, and then on top of that, I want to start eating better. I was kind of would eat whatever I want, eat a lot of fast food, and what that does to me is, now I'm unhealthy. You know, I'm putting bad stuff in my body. My body's not going to feel as great as it could. I'm gonna be spending more money than I should on stuff I shouldn't use. I still like to go out and eat, especially but I want to make it more of an occasional thing, and I want to eat healthier choices at home, and like home cooked meals and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's super important, man. Like, a big mantra that's part of my life now is enjoy real health. I forgot where I heard this, but it's like, it's one of those things where I don't even remember what I got it from, but it's so important that I say it to myself every day pretty much now, is enjoy real health. Because, like you said, when you're eating shit, you feel like shit. You know, like, I'm like especially susceptible to what I put in my body, I think. I don't know, I'm like really big, really high highs, really low lows, so if I eat shitty food, I fall really low for a while. I mean, like, when you eat shitty food too, it's like, there's some stuff on the surface it does to you, like it hurts your self-esteem because now you're kind of adding I'm a person that eats shit food to your identity. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
No, it really does.
Like you're a person that eats shitty food in your eyes and you don't care. But also it does things to you physically. I mean, like you're like the whole you are what you eat is actually pretty true, and I don't know. Yeah, I'm definitely there with you on that.
Yeah, I agree, like 100. Well, obviously I agree. That's what I said in first was, but yeah, eating is, your diet is super important to a lot of your health, even more than a lot of people realize. I think I feel a lot of time I feel like I'm very tired all the time, and I feel like if I start eating better and then I put on a good sleep schedule, I'm not going to bed way later. I want to start going to bed earlier, waking up earlier as well, and getting myself in like just a more healthy routine, a more like professional routine rather than anything. I want to go out to the bars and clubs less often and save money and spend quality time with people instead. Yeah. Just kind of. So yeah, overall, just a more balanced, well-rounded, kind of healthier lifestyle. Trying to promote that healthy living here.
That sounds great, man.
Drinking a lot more water and trying to cut soda out of the diet. Obviously, if I do go out and I usually drink alcohol with soda. But if I go out less, I'm going to be drinking less soda regardless. So I'm definitely trying to drink a lot more water and like tea and stuff like that. Stuff that's not so bad for you, like soda and energy drinks.
Dude, that's fantastic. Mm-hmm. Like that's a lot, but
yeah, it is. It is a lot to do, and I'm not going to be able to do it all at once, but I want to work up to it because the way I look at it is it's a New Year's resolution, if that's what you want to call it. You have the whole year to kind of adjust yourself. You don't have to put a timestamp on. I don't need to be doing this right now, but it's something to really work towards.
I think something to keep in consideration though is that if you really want to accomplish these goals, you do need to keep up on them on a daily basis. That doesn't mean that if you fall off for a day, it's all gone. But the more and more that you fall off, it's not to develop the
habit. Like we talked about before, like going to the gym. If I don't go to the gym for one day, then I turn it into 2 days. It's a slippery slope, and it's hard to
it's
get
like
back
one day you can kind of jump back on it. It seems to be like a pretty widely known consensus, I would say. So like you can take a day off, but then if you take 2 off of everything, then that's when you really start to damage your habits a little bit, especially if they're not super strong habits yet. Exactly. But see, that's what's interesting about a lot of these things is that it does come down to either forming new habits or changing old ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like you were saying, I think it's a good idea to at least start with reading 10, 15 minutes a day and then add on to it. So, like, if I could do that for like 3 days and then add something new and then add something new, and now, next thing I know, 6 months down the line, I'm living like the way I'm feeling a lot better about myself, a lot more confident in what I'm doing with myself.
Yeah. I would say focus on consistency before you do sheer volume. Mm-hmm. Because, it's like I do the same thing. I try to read my daily goal for reading is pretty low compared to what I've done in the past and stuff. It's just 15 pages a day. But when I leave it that low and I'm really into the book I'm reading, I'll often go over. But there are some days I just don't want to read, but I can look at, the 15-page minimum and go,
I could at least do that.
I can do that. I will say that. I would recommend doing pages instead of minutes.
Okay.
Because just different books vary, different subject matter. You might read a few paragraphs and go, wait a minute, I want to think about that for a little bit or something, Right. So if you give yourself a 5-page limit, that's probably about equivalent. Or at least as easy to kind of process in your mind, 5 pages, that's not bad. Or 3 pages even.
Yeah.
Maybe start with 3 pages and that's oh yeah, I could sit down and do that in a few minutes, it seems like.
Yeah. Interesting. So did you have anything? Obviously, we talked about at the beginning. You redesigned the whole room. Is there any aspirations you have for this year?
I just call them my habits now because because the way I kind of look at how to improve my life now, it is just keeping on these habits and improving every day and improving my volume. So a big thing that I was starting to succeed with. It's kind of always on my mind since one of my prominent things is writing. I realize I always kind of want to be writing more. That's always in the back of my head, and just because I did focus on just doing it every day, building it into a habit, I did increase the volume of my writing over time. Like even in just like a little over a month of really getting back into it. Like before, I used to just kind of write when I felt like it, and that's unfortunately, purists will say otherwise. I guess like purists, if you could call them that. Like people say no, don't write when you don't feel like it, like that. You'll just write shit. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like a more realistic way of looking at it is like any skill. If you really want to get really good at it, you want to master it, especially become an expert. You have to do it every day. You know?
Yeah.
So
definitely.
And then, more than others, you know.
Mm-hmm. And then if you start, you could start. It could be more of just the urge of I don't want to start writing, and you start getting into it, and you can actually like roll
exactly
off of that.
Like
start.
If you want to write and you hate writing like all the time, then maybe you shouldn't focus on writing so much. Like I don't know, but like because that is true. Like once I get started, and especially in like 20 minutes in, that's when I really like I'm like, oh yeah, here I am. Like this is like all I would. There's like nowhere else I'd rather be in that point when I'm like writing and things are working and writing's pretty grueling at times. Like there are some times where I'm writing where I'm just tired and I'm like not totally feeling it, but if I can focus, I can at least get my pages done for the day and feel good about what I did. Like maybe that's all I'm chasing that day is just that sense of accomplishment at the end of it. Like I did my writing. I'm getting that progression.
Yep.
Kind of obsessive progression.
Every time you do something, you almost always get better at doing it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so you're accomplishing not only one, I wrote today, I accomplished a goal, but two, I accomplished myself. I got better at it.
Exactly. So it's like I literally started with just write 30 minutes a day. That's like nothing. And then it really quickly shot up to an hour because after like 30 minutes, I always wanted to do more. Because I never got to like a good stopping point after 30 minutes. Again, sometimes it takes me 20 mines just to like, in my mind.
Get into that groove.
In my mind, get into the groove of it. So it's like, I get an hour in, and then I was doing an hour every day for like, I want to say like 2 weeks. And I don't know, I have this like app, Habit Bowl even, so I can track my streak, is what they call it on there. Like I have like so many habits on there that I follow now. Again, I'm really OCD with it. I can show you that after the podcast too. It's I really recommend it to everybody. It's called Habit Bowl, and basically you can just track your habits, and you kind of get a sense of reward, like an additional sense of reward, getting to like click that you did that thing.
Right.
You get to check it off that box, and that alone feels good. Let alone in addition to all the other rewards you get from doing said habit. But anyway, so it was like 2 weeks of an hour straight every day. And then I got really into that screenplay, especially when I started writing, because for the first like week, I was doing all the outlining, or I was finishing the outlining that I was doing before that for the screenplay that I've been writing. And then when I got into actually writing the screenplay, like getting on my laptop and typing it out and doing the dialogue and the scenes and all that, that's like the fun part. Because like the outlining, I feel like the way that a lot of screenwriters do it is they kind of figure out the story before they write it. At least for the most part. You kind of like create your entire guide and you figure out all like the main plot points and everything.
Yeah, I feel like you have to. If you go into it blindly, you can get off track.
If you want to go into writing blindly, write a book. That's like what everybody says. If you want to just go into a story and you just know that, oh, I like this character, or I like this one thing that happens, and you don't know how you want to go into it, then write a book. Like because you can just like keep writing and writing and writing, and then at the end chop out the parts that don't make sense. But with a screenplay, you have a more or less specific time limit. You have an average of like you got to finish it in like 2 hours, or roughly 120 pages if it's a full-length screenplay. Or in my case, I'm writing a miniseries, so I wanted it to be under 40 pages. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of working with that metric, so like you kind of have to outline it to a certain extent. Some don't. Again, some purists or whatever don't, but I don't even like to call them purists for that, because I would like to think I'm a purist, but I also do outline. But anyway, so I outlined it all, figured out, and then I started writing, and then I set a timer for myself, so I made sure I wrote an hour every day with the outline. But then when it became the screenwriting, I was like, I'm going way over an hour now because I just love this shit. And I changed to like, okay, I'm going to get at least 5 pages done a day. And literally these last few days where I've been finishing it, I wrote the last 20 pages in like a few days. I just like was nonstop. I just nonstop writing. Yeah, especially yesterday. I think I wrote a bunch, and some people write more, but this is like me just getting back, like a month of getting back into things. I finished the first rough draft and like the pilot of a miniseries I'm writing, and haven't even looked at it yet. because I'm going to give it a week. I think I was telling you before I go back and edit it because I want to go into it objectively. Because right now it's like it's probably still too close to my heart. I just want to like leave it alone.
It's like your proud work right now.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll go back on it, and I just know there's some shit in there that I'm gonna have to deal with. So,
of course, but that's at least you're ready for. You'll be mentally prepared. You won't feel like you're hanging on to something that's like pointless to have in there. So you can really
cut the fat off.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's all it'll be at this point. It'll be cutting fat off. It's not going to be killing my darlings too bad. There might be some scenes where I really wanted to keep them, or certain lines of dialogue where I just liked how they sounded so much that I wanted to keep it. But in the end, if they don't add anything, any substance, then I'll cut it. It's just fat at that point, you know.
Yep.
And I can archive that for a different thing, like that line of dialogue or that sort of scene.
You can really make the most out of it now.
Yeah, exactly, and especially if I want to enter it in contests, if it's good enough, then yeah. But as far as that, yeah, I'm just working on a ton of habits, and you know, it almost feels redundant to repeat everything that you said, but I'm pretty much just rounding out my life too.
That's good. I think that's a good spot, a good position to be in, especially at the start of the years, motivated and kind of knowing what you want to do.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It's kind of a shame that like it seems so unique to at least what I see around us and here in Colorado Springs. I can't speak for everywhere else in the U.S. Like when I was in L.A., I think a lot more kids our age kind of thought about their selves a little more in the sense of like improving themselves and their image, their brand even and stuff like this. But it's kind of a shame that it seems unique that, you know, like that we talk about this kind of stuff so much, that we want to really improve our lives and round ourselves out. Like there's still so many people that we know that just live so fucking purposely, and I'm not even like judging it in a harsh way. It's just like it just seems like a necessary critique to make, because I just know that these people could be living a lot better and they'd feel better about themselves. Like I see all over social media, for example, people are complaining all the fucking time. Like I have a few people totally in mind right now as I say this. People that are like, that choose to stay oblivious as to why they're so upset. Like they're getting drunk every single night, and they have no healthy relationships. They treat people like crap, who in result treat them like crap. They isolate themselves on purpose. They don't have good friends. Like all the shit that they're doing to themselves, and then they complain on Facebook every day. Why is my life so awful?
And then they continue to do the same stuff.
Yeah, like exactly. Like what did I ever do? Like people post this shit online all the time, and it's like, dude, you need to just like get your shit together.
You need to change something in your life. If everything's going wrong, you could even start with just one thing. But if a lot is wrong, at least start with one thing and change it. Change one thing and then change another, and switch it around. You know, eventually, and it's not always easy. It's not the easiest thing to do, but make adjustments. But even a small little tweak here and there, and you start adding to it, and you start noticing differences.
You know, in fact, some people would argue that it's essential, if you're in such a low place, that you need to find what some people would call a keystone choice, or keystone habit, rather, which is basically like, maybe you just need to find the one thing in your life that needs to be changed to get everything rolling.
Yeah.
Like in a book I read about habit, this one woman who was like, I mean, everything was wrong with her life. She was like making a lot of terrible choices, extremely overweight. She drove away her husband. She lost all this money. She was in crazy debt, but she was also a chain smoker. That doesn't seem that related, but she ended up like going on this trip on a whim for some reason, and she went out to the desert. I'll kind of summarize this, but I don't even need to actually. Essentially, she stopped smoking cigarettes kind of by accident, because she looked at this trip. This walk across the desert that she one day decided to do, like this walk across the desert that she wasn't in shape for. She says, I'm going to come back in a year and do the same thing, walk across the desert, because I can't do it right now. So because of that choice to go across the desert, she needed to quit smoking, she realized. And that was her keystone habit, like her foundational habit that just changed everything. Because that led into her needing to get healthier overall, which led into her feeling better about herself, which led into her having more confidence going into relationships, which led into her having, more security in many different ways. I don't know, do you see what I'm saying? Like sometimes
it was a domino effect.
Yeah, and
she started with
that's oftentimes how it begins. You need to find one thing to focus on, especially if you're not if you're not in a position in life where you have the physical or mental or intellectual capability to take on all these different new habits or tasks at a time. Like maybe all you can do right now is change one thing, but that might set off everything. You know?
Yeah, it really could. And if you need support, it's okay. Like you should ask for support and kind of get an idea. Like if you're lost, if you're completely gone, you can always ask someone you're close to. Say hey, like this was going on. These are like my issues. Like what should I do? And an outside perspective can kind of give you an idea as well, and kind of say hey, like for example, you're saying you chain smoke all the time. Now if you were to cut down smoking or stop smoking, that would be a good stepping stone. And like you're saying, like with the chain smoking stopping, she got healthier. She's probably saving a lot more money, not spending on cigarettes. Helps her financial issues.
That's definitely why that was her keystone thing, because like she needed to specifically remove that to set off everything. So sometimes it's like a specific keystone habit. Like I mean, maybe you're a person with general problems, and you could pick 1 out of 30 problems that you have, and it would be the quote unquote keystone habit that would set your life off in a better direction. But maybe it's like one thing. Maybe it's worth really getting introspective and finding what's the keystone habit. What's the thing that I'm doing that's making me so that's making me sabotage myself so much. Like with me, just to give an example, it was probably that I was like causing a lot of my anxiety. I was just I don't know. Maybe this isn't the best example, but I was definitely like prone to just causing my own anxiety. Like I'm already an anxious guy in general, but I was kind of building up these stories in my head that I don't know, just like these. How do I describe it? Almost like these senses that I needed to be like perfect, and I was so afraid of not achieving perfection in the future, which is inherently a flawed thing to think, because you're never gonna reach perfection.
No.
And it's not even super related necessarily, but the keystone habit to change was meditating every morning. That honestly, like, and the thing about that was,
so it's not even always removing something; it's adding something new to your life.
Yeah, exactly.
It could also be.
So what happened is that I started meditating every morning, and I'm already a very stressed guy, as I put before, and but I'd meditate, and that set off me feeling less stressed, more confident, more like just being able to clear my head a little more. I'm able to like instantly. I was like, right when I started meditating a lot more every day, I started to see so much more clearly how dumb some of these stories I tell myself were. Like that I need to achieve perfection someday. Like, and this was a while ago. This is like ridiculous to even think about now that I once thought about this stuff. But I feel like a lot of people walk around with stuff like this, just worrying so much about the future. And all I needed to do was really start meditating every day and
kind of just relax.
Yeah, and it set off this crazy butterfly effect. And now I'm like way more of a well-rounded person. If you were to think about something, what do you think was maybe a keystone habit that changed things, or a decision that really that maybe like set things off more than others? I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, but it's just interesting to me to think about.
All right, so like a keystone habit for me, I'd say it's one I'm still trying to really develop and get into, but it's waking up earlier in the morning.
Well, okay, so
like if that's kind of what you're going for,
I think that's great, but
or are you kind of
no. So what I'm saying is, I think you're so much more well-rounded than you used to be, and now I feel like you're building up on some good habits that you've had, and you are changing some not. So, I mean, we all have bad habits that need to be changed to optimize ourselves, and we always kind of will be working with that. But I feel like you used to be in a worse place, and I guess I'm curious, like. I don't know, like, when I think about it, it might be a simple answer. Do you think maybe the military was, like,
Oh, okay. You're talking about, like, more,
if there was an event like that butterfly effect you to be the well-rounded person you are now, because I consider you to be pretty well-rounded at this point,
yeah.
Neither of us are perfect, but now you're in a point where you are contemplating, like, you're able to contemplate taking on all these new habits that we've been talking about.
Yeah,
like really becoming productive and even making room for a life of working full time, having a girlfriend, maybe writing a screenplay here or there, reading more. Like, this is, like, to do that, you had to have already had a decent foundation established. That's the thing. If you were in a place where you were maybe 3-4 years ago, I don't think you would have the mental or the mental capability or time management skills to make that all happen. But now you're in a position where you can.
Yeah, probably, like the deployment, I guess, was really good for starting, like, my wills to... I'm sorry, I don't know why I was, like, starting so much on this podcast, but basically the deployment was really good for me to really push my will and my drive to do more with myself. And even coming back from deployment and my hindsight on it, was I look back on it, I was like, did I take full advantage of the free time I had over there? Did I take classes or read as much as I should have? And I did not. And so now it looks like I almost feel a little regret and like guilt from not doing it. So coming back from deployment and with the hindsight was kind of like the catalyst to, all right, how do I improve myself more and continue to build upon my own foundation that I've started.
That kind of taught you,
not to waste time. And there's another thing was like, I see people like who are really good at, who are also really well rounded, who I feel like more well rounded than I am. And it's not like I'm completely jealous, but I'm like, if I put more time into doing that, I could be good at that. That's what you hear that like on TV and stuff all the time. Like, well, if I spent 30 minutes a day fencing, I would be really good at fencing, or some weird example.
Yeah.
But I actually do have that time, so I might as well get good at other stuff. I want to be able to make the most of what I have. So it's kind of like
Yeah. No. See, envy is actually, I would say, is really important and shouldn't be categorized as such a negative thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, it could turn into something very toxic, obviously.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't do anything about the envy that you feel. But if you truly envy something and it's like powerful and I don't know, and I feel like you have to also add some intuition to it. Like, is this actually important to me, or am I just being like a little bitch here? But if you envy something, and it's important to you, and you go like, wow, like I look at that guy, and that guy seems so ideal, like, and I wish I could have a lot of those qualities that he has, or at least be a better version of myself.
Exactly.
And maybe just seeing that level of a person makes you realize how much better you can be. Like, that's the use of comparisons, right? I mean, like we shouldn't get overly toxic with envy and comparing ourselves to others, but there's a reason that you're supposed to look at the greats in whatever field and what you're doing. It's always vital to have examples, or else you're just reinventing the wheel. You're having to figure it out all yourself. Whereas I can look at like the best filmmakers. It's funny too, because I used to get upset with envy when I used to read, Quentin Tarantino scripts, Aaron Sorkin scripts. Just like really high level screenwriters, I would read their scripts and I would sometimes put it down and be like, man, if there's people this good, like, why am I even doing this? It's like completely backwards. But then I tapped into that envy and I realized, no, I'm envying these guys because they're doing exactly what I want to do, but like way better. And I can figure out my original voice, but now I know that this level is possible, and if I keep working and I have a necessary amount of talent, which I believe I do, like, to be honest. I mean, I'm not good, but I think I have a baseline of talent that allows me to build upon that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, at least potential, right?
Exactly. I have that potential, but I see these guys and I'm like, yeah, all they had was potential at a point. I've seen their shitty work before, like, and they became great. Yeah, like, I can do this. Like
everyone has to start somewhere.
Exactly. You turn that envy into something productive, though.
Yeah,
and so it's like, I think you should pay attention to the things that you truly envy. Mm-hmm. And even if that's like, man, that guy has a great body and stuff like that. Why don't I have a great body? And then really get introspective about it, because I used to feel like weird body dysmorphia with stuff like that, and I probably still do to some extent. But now I just look at myself and I'm like, man, I just want to feel healthy. Even if I'm thin as fuck, I just want to like look and feel healthy. I want my skin to look decent. Like, I don't care about being big anymore.
Right, and then I've never heard that before. This this envy theory, I guess, taking it and into a positive form, but it makes a lot of sense. And now that you bring it up, and I actually really think about it and hear about it, like that is a good drive to, start giving you an initial push.
Yeah, see, I just have a problem with people turning every scary word into something that we shouldn't talk about or think about more, like envy. Like when you first hear about envy, societally, you think it's just a strictly negative thing, and if you feel envy, then something's wrong with you. I have a problem with like lines of like trains of thought like that people have. Like I'm like, wait a minute, like really think about it. What is envy when you break it down? Like you really want something that someone else that you don't have that someone else has, and it's sometimes very important to you. Is it really healthy just to like stuff that down and pretend that you don't feel this shit?
No, because you cannot run from your feelings. You can't hide from any of that.
But the thing is, the same people that tell you to not feel envy, or that spit on the idea of envy, they'll still tell you the same things about you shouldn't push down your feelings, you shouldn't suppress your emotions.
Yeah,
but they also want to suppress reality that everybody feels envy to a certain degree.
And now they're hypocritical and telling you two different things. I'm like, you don't want me to push down my feelings, but you don't want me to tell you what I'm feeling about this. Like,
yeah. So
that's wrong.
So maybe the important thing is to look at a concept like envy, a genuine feeling that people have, more honestly, and breaking it down, like what is actually happening. Because sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes you need like genuine perspective on what's happening. Like with envy, before, again, with the way that society, I guess, brought it up and stuff, I just always felt shame for feeling envious. Like, man, it's terrible that I'm jealous of this person. But especially when it's something just as like irrational as like getting jealous from reading the beautiful screenwriting of Quentin Tarantino, it's like, why am I getting jealous of this? This guy's just amazing, and I want to be able to write as good as this guy.
Just turn the envy into inspiration.
Yeah, and just realize like, oh yeah, this is just because I want this bad.
Yeah,
this is how bad I want it.
Yeah, so I just can't stop saying but I agree. Like it's really awesome.
Yeah, I think I actually wrote a blog a long time ago before I really knew how to articulate this, but I think the title is the thing that stands true, that envy is for the ambitious. If you are ambitious, if you want to achieve something great, then you have to tune into these things like envy and not let them destroy you. Because I feel like it is counterproductive, again, last thing I'll say about it, sorry, but I think it is counterproductive to pretend it doesn't exist and to stuff it down and to shame yourself for feeling envy, because then you're as a side effect shaming your true desires, I guess is the point that I should have been making this entire time. You're as you're blocking down, as you're telling yourself like, man, it's terrible that I'm jealous of these people, that I want these things this bad that I can't have right now, then you're also like you're putting your real desires to be great lightly, and maybe those aren't things that you should turn away from. Maybe those are things you should lean into and work harder at because of that realization.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I like the ideas that envy. You said envy is for the ambitious.
Yeah, that's sort of like a self mantra.
Yeah, that's actually super interesting, and it makes so much sense. I'm like, as you're saying, those are your true desires. If that's how you really feel about something, then yeah, go and achieve it. Like, don't just suck it, push it down like we were saying. Like, make something out of that.
Yeah. The actual last thing I'll bring up too is, again, looking at it honestly also means separating. Okay, I think this is best explained with an example. So, like, I've in the past, and probably even like nowadays, if I saw it happen to me, like let's say you're at a party and a girl you're interested in is like way more interested in this big beefy jock guy, like huge muscles, and definitely works out like 6 days a week and just looks great. You might look at that guy and you just get like, and the first thing comes to mind is that I'm jealous because he has all these muscles and he's like, and he's doing this and he's all alpha, but really you're probably jealous that he's getting the girl right now, and that's what you need to focus on. It's like, oh, he's getting the girl. I want a girl. That's what I desire right now. It's like, maybe this isn't the best or healthiest example. This is definitely not. But what I'm trying to say is, like, look into things more. Get real introspective, because, like, I realized, this is the reason I brought that up is because that was kind of a true example. Like, I started to realize, like, certain girls I was interested in, like, or even girls that I was dating, like, years ago even, this is probably better to illustrate the idea. Years ago, I'd be dating a girl, and she would, like, like anybody, even me, will gawk at the muscles of, like, Captain America or Thor or something. It's like, oh my god, that guy is just, like, so symmetrical and biceps and abs and
he's just perfect.
He's just perfect.
Perfection.
I mean, even as men, we do that. Like we're like, dude, look at how badass he is.
Yeah, no, I do all the time.
So it's so hypocritical that I would get like
I look at like Zac Efron and Baywatch. I'm like, that's not even fair.
Or every guy when they see Brad Pitt in Fight Club, are like, holy fuck.
Yeah, like it's just ridiculous.
Nice.
Nice.
But yeah, it's like, it's so hypocritical that I'd be mad at my girlfriends, my exes for doing that. But yeah, it's like in the end, like years later, in hindsight, I can realize, oh yeah, like I wasn't actually mad that they were admiring these admirable bodies, admirable people. I just also wanted them to admire me as well, and they did. They did. I just wasn't
You just didn't get introspective about it. You didn't really open your mind up to it.
I was really attached to my current ego. Was part of the problem. I don't want to break it down too much because there's all these moving parts. There's like your ego being too like stagnant and attached to it. There's breaking down and separating like your true desires and your lust with envy. There's all these things, but I'll close it off there for now. I'll let people sit on that.
It's already a lot to take in, almost. So.
Right. Just remember, envy is really ambitious. Don't judge things so harshly right away. I think I did talk about this on a previous podcast. Let me know if you remember it. But I found this like on a subreddit called like Productivity or something. All these different weird subreddits. There was this guy who mentioned that you should have 3 different habits. You should have an active one, like one that keeps you active, one that makes you money, and one that expresses yourself creatively. For different reasons. And and so like this is like and it seemed like a good theory. This is just like a random guy off Reddit. I mean, he might be a psychologist or something. He might be a life coach, but for all I know, it could be like a random schmo. He could be 5 years old. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But this did really resonate with me, and I haven't forgotten about it since. Just because like I've always kind of had it's one of those ideas that's always been bouncing around in my brain, and I never could quite articulate it. And then he just put it so simply, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I feel like you need like if you want to be a well-rounded person, especially as someone ambitious, you kind of need to like deliberately round out your life with habits. And obviously habits are like a huge topic in my head now, but these seem like, see, these are more than just habits though. These are like hobbies. I keep getting habit in my head, but these are specifically hobbies. And I don't know, I kind of wanted to go over dissect each of our hobbies and see if our hobbies already, like which of our hobbies align with these 3, and if we don't have hobbies to fill in all 3 slots of these, if we can think of hobbies that would round us out and improve our lives by this theory.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah,
and also, I will mention that I did actually add a 4th that I think is important. I think everyone should have a social hobby. But the reason that I felt that I wanted to include this as just an additional one is that I am by nature, I think, pretty introverted. Like, I think I'm pretty good at social stuff for being an introvert, but when I say introvert, I think my energy comes more from being alone, and when I go out, then I'm spending energy.
Yeah, of course. That makes sense. No, I understand. Janet says the exact same thing.
Okay, yeah.
Almost.
Where some people get energy from being outside, and that's what I was.
Which is weird for me. Is like I feel like I'm more extrovert. Like I get energy from being with people. I get more tired easily being alone. But I've always been naturally shy by nature. Yeah. So it's kind of a weird dilemma I have with myself.
No, yeah, I feel the inverted way a lot of the time. So yeah, it's like But I mean, first of all, before we get into it, we can kind of discuss the nature of this. Do you kind of understand like why I maybe think that this rings true? Like maybe why we need a hobby that keeps us active, one that makes us money, one that expresses ourselves creatively, and maybe an additional one to keep us social if we have problems with being social. I just think that if you don't have something to look forward to enjoy, involved with these aspects of life, like to stay as a rounded out person, then you may just not really be a rounded out person. Like I realize, like it really resonates with me probably because when I had to quit MMA from getting getting scoliosis, and I quit weightlifting. Then these were like my fitness hobbies. These were the things that motivated me to stay in shape. You know, and even eat well a lot of the time. And when I quit those, I really fell out of shape fast. Like, I'm not fat or nothing. I'm just really, really thin, and like, it's hard for me to run 2 miles a lot of the time now. I'm slowly getting back there, but I don't know, just not having that fitness hobby, like, I don't know, I just lost motivation. I lost a lot of will to like want to do those things. Like, if I don't have a target to aim at, then you know, why throw the dart? Yeah. Why shoot the arrow?
Exactly. Like, you don't want to shoot in the dark.
Exactly. So yeah, that's probably what I should have been saying from the beginning. It's like I didn't have that target. But I've been thinking about other versions lately. But I kind of wanted to start with you. Like, first, I guess we'll start from active. Do you have a hobby that keeps you active?
Keeps me active. So is that like your physical hobby?
Yeah.
Kind of thing you were just talking about. Yeah, I think going to the gym could be a good hobby. I think I like.
Yeah.
I like to go weightlift, and just for like about an hour a day, 4 to 5 times a week. I think that's a fair hobby.
See, yeah, that's totally a hobby. Like, that's what I would do, honestly, if I still could lift weights and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, just go in there, and you know, my whole thing in there is like, I'm not trying to get super huge or anything like that anymore. I want to put on muscle, but I want it to be healthy, lean muscle. And I just want to look good and feel good. When I don't go to the gym a lot of days, especially if I've missed more than one day in a row, I feel like gross. I feel kind of ashamed and guilty of myself. I like to look at myself when I was laid down and I just feel like I'm like, man, I'm just a fat piece of shit. I'm just like, I should just punch myself in the stomach until I'm thin, until I have abs, you know. I like grab like the loose fat on my skin, like my loose skin.
Which is like nothing. Like,
there's more than there should be. I feel like I'm like, I just want to rip you off, like Adam from.
And people try to say that guys don't have body dysmorphia. This is so ridiculous.
I'm disgusting. I'm a fat lard.
Shut the fuck up. Oh my god.
I make my belly button talk. I'm like, you're a fat piece of shit.
Is that how it sounds?
Yeah.
What a dick.
I know. I'm such an asshole. Just makes me feel bad.
Yeah,
all the time.
So, for some reason, that made me think that maybe what's happening with hobbies and why they're important, like fundamentally, I guess, mm-hmm. like psychologically, is it's another one of those stories that we tell ourselves to like add to this kind of illusion of identity, I guess. You know, like we, it's like we tell ourselves like, you know, like, well, you know, I lift weights because I'm big about, like maybe your hobby is looking good, maybe your hobby is health, mm-hmm. but if you have something obvious, like honestly, I would say this, I bet for most people, it sounds like you already have a habit of working out, so maybe that's enough for you, but for a lot of people, you know, just going to the gym, that's like, that's not a hobby for them.
No.
You know what I mean? And that's not like a clear enough hobby for them to like add to their identity or like, you know, yeah, tell themselves the story of like, yeah, you know, like I'm going to the gym. Usually people are going to the gym to aim towards like their hobby. Like, I used to go to the gym to keep me in shape for MMA, you know, and that became part of my identity and therefore became something that I just do because that's just like who I am.
It's part of the lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly. It becomes part of the lifestyle. So that's great that works for you, but to turn it back on me, I just like can't get myself just to like go work out for no reason. I don't know why. I just like it's just totally not part of who I am anymore, but this is another one of those weird things that's changed in the last 2 weeks. You might have seen me post about it on Facebook, but I'm super into dancing now.
I've seen a couple things about it.
Yeah.
Dancing. I was like, oh, okay, dancing's fun. Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun.
I've danced a lot in the last year with like friends and stuff. And
now, like, what kind of dancing are you into? Like, stylistically?
I think I'm going to do... I don't know the exact terminology. I know nothing, but essentially, like, I think what it's called is like freeform. I don't know, but essentially, like, what I want to do is I want to express my emotions, you know, like through, you know, like voice crack, through my body, and express my emotions through like my body, like intertwined with the song that's playing, and I think I'll be alone when I'm doing it. Like, whenever I envision myself, I'm like, you know, alone, like either in my room or on a stage, and I'm just expressing myself. I would like to get into partner dancing though, like I I think there's a lot more you could do with that. I think you're less limited even with a partner.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell more of a story or whatever. But yeah. So, but I think I would like to design a lot of dance, but I think how I'm going to start is just by going to a local dance studio and, like, just learning how to articulate my body more properly.
Nice.
And then, I feel like it's one of those things where I kind of have to learn some fundamental technique before I can really, double down on a genre of dance, if that makes sense.
No, of course. That makes perfect sense, but that's super cool. Dancing, that's super interesting.
It's not something I ever would have thought I would do myself, but it's one of those things that just organically came out of me. Like, I realized I really like to move. I've always been musical, and now I'm just it all just clicked together. I dance in my room, and one time specifically I was dancing, and I made my way over to the window in the kitchen. And I was dancing in the kitchen, and I saw my reflection, and I just felt this overwhelming sense of confidence, and I really felt like myself. As cliche as that sounds, I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling myself.
Of course, you're feeling yourself when you're dancing.
Yeah, exactly.
Just go hand in hand, right?
But I felt like I was expressing how I was feeling so I don't want to say perfectly, but so in such harmony. In such harmony.
Yeah.
In such harmony with the music, and it was just working. And I was like, man, I want to know how to do this so much better. And also, I realized by the end of it, after dancing 10 songs, literally over an hour, I was out of breath, and I was like, man, this is a good workout, And also with that confidence, when I was looking at my body, I did start to think about my body in a different way. Now it's also kind of like an instrument that I want to keep fine-tuned, and that's when everything clicked, and I literally started writing down everywhere, I'm going to be a dancer, I'm going to learn how to dance, and so yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, this
dancing it could be so much fun,
Yeah.
I like to go to a bar or a club, and I'm so terrible at dancing, but I just go in there, I throw my arms around and fucking move my hips and stuff.
It's good fun. All you need to do to have fun is just be confident in it,
Yeah, that's the biggest part. If you look like you're enjoying it, and you really are enjoying it, and you're loose and with it, that's step one, I think.
Yeah. No, that's huge, honestly. The most uncomfortable thing is when you can tell someone's just dancing because other people are dancing and they're not actually having fun. They're just yeah, I'm moving too, and it's I have certain friends that I know for a fact don't like to dance. Mm-hmm. And they feel like they have to dance when they're out, and they just look uncomfortable. So
that's how I used to be, exactly like that.
Yeah.
So I definitely, when I went to Spain, I made the switch. I asked my friend, I was like, my biggest thing is I told him, I was like, dude, I don't know how to dance. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not loose. And he's like, I'll show you some things, try and get you some rhythm a little bit. And he just showed me a few moves.
What a good buddy.
Yeah, really good. He even showed me a little partner dancing, because he's really pretty good dancing. He had to take dance classes when he was in high school, because he had to go to quinceañera or whatever. And
is that a 15-year-old birthday?
Yeah, and so they have to learn how to dance, because the girl whose birthday is, she chooses who she wants to dance with.
So she chooses you.
Yeah,
you have to know what you're doing.
Exactly, you have to be good. You have to be good at it. So he had to take the classes for it, and he got pretty good. He's actually pretty fucking good.
He's lying on his feet.
Yes.
Nice.
And so he's showing me some stuff, and I had a lot of fun with it. So now, sometimes I need a few drinks in me, but I can go out there.
That makes it really easy.
It's a lot easier. All right, let's do this.
I don't even need drinks anymore. I dance by myself enough. If you're somebody that dances in your room for no reason, then I don't think you have any problem getting out on the dance floor.
Probably not.
Unless it's one of those dramatic movies where it's I only dance by myself. I can't dance in front of people. And then, they take off their glasses and let down their hair, and they're the best dancer ever. And that's another movie. We just made that. Nobody's ever done a film like that.
What if we combined it with the snow film?
Okay, no, we're not going to do this. Okay, but the point of the dance was that became my active hobby.
That's awesome.
And I don't have the money yet to do the classes. I'm trying to get into that. I think I just got a job at Safeway.
Oh, nice.
They're finding me a position. It's a weird scenario.
Okay.
She basically, I applied for the deli, and I interviewed really well, and she's she just basically doesn't want me to work in the deli. She wants me to work somewhere
actually in the Safeway store.
Well, yeah, where more communication is, because I'm a better communicator than I am passionate about deli stuff. So I think she kind of caught on.
You mean to tell me your dreams isn't to make a sandwich every day?
Apparently, that's the worst place to work in Safeway is the deli.
Oh,
yeah. Apparently, it's kind of the dishwashers bottom of the restaurant, bottom of the food chain. I've been a dishwasher in many restaurants, so I'm not throwing shade at it, but that's kind of the equivalent to working deli at Safeway, apparently.
Oh.
But anyway, so dance is my active hobby. So how about the next one? Do you have a hobby that you enjoy that could potentially make you money, or could you imagine one that could arise in the future, like something that you could see, like, you know?
So I've been going through the application processes for Uber and Lyft, which is the hobby is essentially driving people, but to add to it is also meeting lots of people, which I'm a social butterfly.
Yeah.
So I like to...
I mean, that would help with even this.
Yeah, just
doing
talking
podcasting,
to people.
You know? Like,
and I could tell them, like, listen to my podcast, and that's all I'm going to
play.
That's all I'm going to play in the car is the podcast.
You like make them?
Yeah,
like, they don't even
listen to me. They're like trying to get out, I lock them in. Like we pull
this
up,
is my favorite part.
We pull up to our destination. I was like, no, there's 5 minutes left. You can't get out.
Oh my god.
No, but
yeah. On a real note, though, yeah, that would help a lot. I mean, I think that it's great that we're doing this podcast for a lot of. I think this will give us a lot of marketable skills. Like even just communication, we'll be better communicators. Oh, yeah. Better at meeting strangers. Better at forming sentences, words, all that shit. You know?
Words.
Yep. No, that's great. That's so much. That's so much out of the box of what I was thinking too. Like it's such a good idea because driving is fun. And
yeah, I like it. I like
you listen to music while you wait. Podcast while you wait. That's fucking dope.
Something to listen to. Something interesting. Something that entertains me. And then, like I said, meet a lot of people. And then you make some really decent money doing it, or you can. You know, I've talked to drivers who go out to Denver and make like upwards of $500 on a Friday or Saturday night out there.
Yeah, it's not great down here, is what I hear. Like, but again, as I was telling you before, you have to find the good spots, and you have to kind of like you kind of have to do anecdotal research. Like after you hang around in certain spots for a while. I was talking to an Uber driver the other day because you had mentioned it before, and I was kind of asking in your best interest. And yeah, he was like showing me kind of what he does. He'll hang out in a spot. And he'll get on Uber app as a regular, like someone trying to find a pickup, like a ride, and he'll look at how many drivers are in the area. He'll do stuff like that. He'll kind of cheat because if there's a ton of drivers in the area, then he'll want to go to somewhere that's more active but with less cars. And I don't know.
So there's more opportunity.
Things. Yeah, there's all these little things that you can do, and also you can check all of the the timestamps or whatever of all the rides that you do, and you can see like. You can slowly anecdotally see like this area does well Friday night at around like 8 p.m. to 12. You know, I was getting a ton of rides, and if you can start to notice these patterns, and then start to hang out at certain places at certain times, and maximize your profit that way.
Yeah,
so,
and luckily,
that's what he would do.
Janet, one of her older brothers, actually works for Uber, not as a driver though, as like someone who deals with the application process.
Oh wow!
And he actually had like kind of the same advice. Talking about how like you want to find certain specific areas that are busy at certain times and kind of work around those.
You also don't want to be just driving around the whole time.
Exactly.
I mean, at least while you're waiting.
Yeah.
You know.
So you can maximize the money you make with minimizing the gas you use and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So super cool. I've had issues with it so far. Just because, come to find out, Colorado is actually one of the only states through like Uber or Lyft where actually your car needs to be registered in the state of Colorado to drive for them.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's a super annoying rule. I don't understand it. It's like a state regulation. And like I said, through Jan's older brother, I learned that Colorado is like one of the few states that's an issue. Huh. And so that's super annoying. So I've been going through this application process for over a month. It's pretty much the only thing I have left to do is put my registration through. And the vehicle inspection, which the vehicle inspection, I'm going to pass because I know Uber does some of their inspections through Jiffy Lube. I just got oil changed there, and they did a pre-inspection on my car, and I had green check marks on everything.
Good.
So I would pass the inspection. I just have to turn like some of the lights off. Like I have a messed up sensor in my car right now, which is the only thing, which is the easy fix. But it's just like I've been going through this application process for over a month, and I've been trying to get in contact with like Lyft and Uber, and I just keep getting like generic emails like that are not helping me whatsoever.
Right.
And I've gone through this process so long. I'm like, dude, why aren't they accepting my registration? Come to find out, it's the state regulation that doesn't allow them to.
So what's the solution?
The solution is I go down to the registration office and
re-register your car
in Colorado.
Yeah.
Luckily, it expires in March anyway, so I'm not. You know, it's It's soon enough to go ahead and do it right now.
I think you can actually turn in your plates and get a refund too.
Oh, maybe.
I think you can.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, there may be like a certain amount of time you can do that, but when my sister's boyfriend sold me his car, he took the plates because he said he was going to go get some money back.
Oh, okay.
For them. So yeah, I mean, there's even that, which is just a bonus. You don't even need that.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, I feel like that's not too big of a deal either. I can just go in on some free time.
Yeah.
Get it re-registered. Shouldn't take that long at all. Put some plates on there. I'll be good to go. That's pretty much the last thing I have to do other than the inspection.
That's great.
So
that's an awesome money making habit. Honestly, like I've thought about similar stuff like that. I thought about doing truck driving and stuff, which isn't even off the table. But I have to be 21, just turned 20, so
still got a little while.
Yeah, so maybe though, probably not, but maybe. We'll see. I love podcasts, so I can just listen to audiobooks and podcasts all day. So there's that. But yeah, and then let's see which ones we do. We did active, we did moneymaker, creative outlet. This one's easy for me.
You didn't really specify a moneymaker that you.
Oh, I did not. Did I? Oh, photography.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if my listeners know, but I'm really into photography. The reason I probably didn't talk about it before is because I didn't have a camera for like 6 months, and that's a whole story of its own. Really, literally one of my only real regrets in life was getting rid of that camera. Everything else that I sort of regret, I at least go, man, I really learned something from that. But selling that camera, I didn't learn a whole lot. I did learn that I don't ever want to go my life without a camera. That is important.
Actually, is good. Actually. So now you know you'll always have a camera.
Even if it's a shitty camera. Like, my current camera is not amazing, but, I mean, you saw my photos. They look good enough. I can definitely do a lot.
I like them a lot. They're really good.
Yeah.
And there's nowhere to go but up.
But up, exactly.
Continue to improve on them.
So, yeah, and I just made business cards, and I just started charging a little bit for photography. I mean, I've gotten paid before, but only if the person... It was almost like a gratitude thing, like a tip people would give me. But now I have a pretty low, like, flat rate, and so yeah, I'm finally charging for photography, and just because it's a little bit of work to go out there and photograph people and edit, but I definitely have the cheapest prices in town just because I'm humble and still kind of just getting into that scene. So.
Yeah, and it's something you like doing. I love doing it.
Yeah. So it's a hobby that makes me money, even if it's just a little bit, and eventually. I definitely would love to be a professional photographer, so I'm also building a pretty good skill set, a pretty marketable one.
Have you put any ads on Craigslist or anything?
I haven't yet. I'm my only hesitation now with all that stuff is that I don't have a car. Of course. So I'm trying to do more family or more friends. I mean, I don't really have a whole lot of family to photograph except for my sister, and her boyfriend. But I'm doing a lot of people I like on Facebook and online marketing like that because basically I have this deal where it's like $5 cheaper if you drive. That's awesome. Otherwise I'm gonna have to take the bus to wherever we're meeting. Because right now I'm mainly doing outdoor photography, but what I'm saving for is an indoor photography studio.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I already have all the stuff on Amazon marked off that I need. Oh,
really?
Just to get started. Yeah. So it's gonna be right behind you different backgrounds and stuff like that. But I prefer outdoor photography anyway, just because all that natural light just looks better and it's easy.
The natural lighting.
And I just love photographing people in the woods. Even when I photographed Roshan nude, we were in the woods.
Yeah, definitely.
We just hiked way off trail and did nude photography. So
that's awesome.
yeah, it was a really good story. I'm so excited to have that guy on. But so that's my moneymaker. And now let's go back to you. So for your creative outlet, maybe this is something that you're trying to do this year. You're trying to start, maybe, or
yeah, definitely. So creative outlet.
I would say the podcast categorizes
is a creative outlet for me.
Yeah, I mean, because this is where we can express our ideas and even our emotions. We could cry. We could cry a little bit. Want to cry? You want to cry?
I didn't until now.
No, but yes, so stupid, but yeah. But I it's funny that I was saying it without even it in mind. But yeah, this is a hobby right now that we do usually at least once a week. That is a creative outlet. But
another one that is a really good one is I had a friend offer to teach me how to play bass guitar.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, and I was like, why not? Why not learn?
Yeah, so at least try it. If you don't. The worst that happens is you don't like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe don't buy a bass right away.
No, I'm not. He has one. He said he has one. He's gonna let me borrow it. We go to his room. He lives right across the hall from me. And we'll go ahead and just play. And he'll show me. He said bass is pretty simple to learn, pretty easy to learn. And I could pick up on it. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It would be, I just think that'd be something fun, because lately I've always regretted not learning an instrument when I was younger. I was like, if I had started, like, when my dad tried to teach me keyboard when I was, like, 5, if I had started practicing then, I'd be, like, amazing now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not too late to start learning something and enjoy it. So.
Exactly. Like, you don't want to build one of those mindsets where you think, like, oh, it's too late. It's
exactly.
Like, no, I
mean, yeah, I did that in the past where I was like, oh, well, it's too late now. I'm never going to be good enough to really do anything with this. But now I'm like...
It's like, I thought the same thing about music for a while, and I also, here's this, too. This is a good piece of advice if you're going to get into music. I tried playing guitar on and off for, like, 3 years. I never got good because, like, I would play it for a little bit, and I'd learn, like, a few scales and this and that, and I don't know, it just didn't click with me. And then, after a little bit, I tried a few different instruments, and then I just found drums, and that was, like, it. I was like, I fucking love this, and I started practicing, like, every day for, like, 5 days for, like, a long time, and actually got, like, pretty decent. I'm still decent at drums, but, like, I plateaued because I could never really get my hands on a real kit for too long, and then I had to get rid of it because I kept moving around, and to be honest, drums is the worst instrument to play just simply because it's so fucking huge. You can just carry a bass around with you, but drums, it's like, it's not the same. I mean, I could bring sticks, but, I mean, regardless, my interest kind of went a different way, but it's like, but yeah, my point being, like, I didn't really discover drums until I was, like, maybe, like, 17. I didn't discover how much I loved them, but I got pretty decent pretty fast just because I love them so much, and I devoted the time to it, you know? Yeah, I tried playing bass for a little bit, though, and I had a bass, sold it for $100 after a while, but I learned some stuff, too. I can show you a few things. I definitely...
Yeah, of course.
I know a lot of the basics.
I'm super open to learning anything of the show. Like, it would be awesome. Just really, really great.
And I know you listen to a lot of hip-hop, but bass is actually extremely important in hip-hop. Like, that's like the foundation of, like, a lot of the groove in those songs, you know?
Yeah.
Especially that old school shit, like, it's like all bass line.
Yeah, and... I'm trying to open up to a lot more genres music-wise.
You should let me show you music, man. Like, of course. You know how crazy I am about music and how much I gotta show you.
We can get together and listen to lots of stuff. So.
Seriously.
I love music.
Me too. I love your music, too. We just, I don't know, I feel like people are... There's a lot of people who don't really, like, want to change their music taste, or not change necessarily, but like, open them up to other things.
Yeah, they stay, like, one genre and stick to that. I'm like, just expound upon... You know, what you listen to, because there's so much other good forms of music that I'm like, wow, like, there's so much good music out here other than just hip-hop music.
Exactly.
Or other than just R&B. And I'm like...
But also what I was going to say is because you know that I listen to a lot of different music than you, and not you specifically, but, like, people in general, like, a lot of people won't want to show me the music they listen to. Like, I don't know, it's kind of weird, or, I don't know if it, like, fits the vibe of the room or something, but it's like... They can't really tell that I'm, like, trying to figure out what music they listen to. Like, especially when I ask somebody, like, what kind of music do you listen to? Like, play me something. Play me whatever you want. Yeah. And they'll just play something that they think tailors to my taste, and it's like, I don't know, man. I wish people, like...
Just show you what they listen to.
Yeah, and I wish people... I wish people, like, just kind of, like, looked at music as something to share with each other, and, like, I love when I get on a level with somebody where... We're showing each other, like, lots of different kinds of music, and we're both just like, holy shit, I've never heard anything like this before, this is awesome. Whereas, like, a lot of people's reaction, because of the way that people view trends, and that, you know, if you're not following, like, a current trend, you're kind of a loser or something. It's like, if I show them something that's, like, not in with a current trend, or maybe they've never heard anything like it, they're like, what the fuck is this? Instead of, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
you know,
there's two different kinds.
There's two very different ways to look at that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I just think... A lot of it is just, especially with the generation, people are not open-minded enough to, like, a lot of things, and music is a huge part of that.
And what a douchey thing to not be open-minded about.
Yeah,
like, music, it's like, music's the best thing ever.
No, if you don't like the music, you simply don't like it, then you don't like it.
Yeah.
But to instantly go, like, oh, this is fucking... dumb, I would never listen to this.
Just be presumptuous and be like, oh, this is different than what I listen to? Like,
yeah.
The fuck?
I'm like, no. I mean, yeah, it's different, but it's not bad.
I know it probably seems like we're over-exaggerating to some people, but this is, like, legitimately how it is. Like,
no, especially, so many people are like that, yeah. So, like, you listen to that garbage, or, you know, the album's found in the bad music section or something like that. I'm like... It's not bad music. It's just music that you don't particularly like or listen to.
Yeah.
You know, that's another thing is I hate when people say like, that is bad mix. Now there is like poor quality music and poor taste and stuff like that. But if it's something
there's unrefined taste, like people that haven't actually like looked outside of like maybe the one type of music that they've listened to their entire life.
Yeah.
But
now if there's like something that a lot of people really enjoy, and you're gonna say that's bad music, I'm like, obviously it's not bad music. There's people that like it. You know, it's just you're not a fan of it.
The easiest example is like metal, because it's becoming a lot more mainstream now. Like now a lot of people listen to like technical metal and stuff, but obviously for the longest time and still nowadays it's not that popular, it's not that mainstream. And you know, in the past, now I'm a lot more aware of how people react to metal, and unfortunately I don't get to play it as much as maybe I'd like to, but like sometimes I'll show someone a technical song because I'm like, dude, like this is just so ridiculously amazing, it's so melodic and so beautiful, yet their skills are so refined, so technical, let me show you this. And they instantly start hearing it, and the first thing that comes to mind within like 5 seconds is, oh, you're just going to play me a song with a bunch of noise. That's like, you know, that's what you always hear. With metal. I mean, I don't even listen to a lot of like metal with screaming vocals anymore, but as soon as someone hears like you know, like different timing guitars and like and drums that are faster or different different timing 4/4 and stuff like that, they're like, oh, this is just noise. Like they won't even try to engage it for a second. Especially with technical music, because you kind of gotta listen a little bit more, if that makes sense, than just the music. Because I love music you can just like, you don't have to think about. You can sit back and grind to. But sometimes you hear music that is worth appreciating a little bit.
Yeah, and I used to never really like a lot of metal music, especially one that's like screaming in it. But I've been a lot bigger fan of it lately. Somebody I work with showed me a lot of it, and I've always he's played it. I just tell him like, I like the singing vocals in the song. The instruments are cool. I was like, I just can't get into the screaming.
Yeah, dude, that makes sense. That's a taste thing. I mean, like, it's like if you don't have that sort of like aggression that needs to come out, or like, or you just simply don't like the sound of someone, making those kinds of vocals. It's like,
why is he yelling?
Yeah,
why is he yelling at me?
It's like that totally makes sense.
Yeah,
you know, but like for some people that it helps them to express certain emotions, or you know they feel what that person's feeling almost. It's another way to express yourself, just as like, you know, singing opera is a way to how do I say, express like sadness or like power. You know, like screaming is obviously aggression and also sadness and a lot of negative emotions that need to come out. You know,
so you want to release.
So it's like but I mean I understand like the taste. It's the same as like, you know, someone, this is an obvious observation, but someone saying, yeah, you know, like green's not my favorite color, but for some people like green represents all of nature and, you know, life itself and all this shit. So it's like it's just at that point it's just that is just taste. But for someone to say like this is just garbage, all it is just like rotten noise. Like why do you even like they don't even try to listen to it for a second, you know? It's like,
I'm like, I don't think that you can do what they're doing right now.
Right.
It's pretty hard, you know. And another note, what did help me with the screams is he told me, the person who was showing me said like, don't try and focus on the lyrics and think of it as a voice, just think of it as another instrument in the song, and that actually helped me a lot. I was like, okay, now it's an instrument.
It's just another element to the sound already happening.
So, now it's not just random noise or someone yell at me. It's just another like you said, element of sound. Like it's really cool. I was like, okay, so that helps.
And in fact, a lot of time I don't even somebody that appreciates like the great lyrics of certain bands like Tesseract or something who scream occasionally, it's like I don't even focus on the lyrics a lot of times or even look them up, because even just the fact that they are words, like I don't know, there's just different consonants, because you know different words have different syllables, different consonants, and that just adds, it's like another layer of the instrument of vocals. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Yeah, so it's like it doesn't even matter all the time like what they're like that, you know what they're saying, but just that the fact that they are words, like that's why there are lyrics to screaming instead of just you know screaming itself, just roaring. You know, it's like there are vowels happening, and it adds something even if you have no idea what they're fucking saying.
Yeah, but there's that piece to it though.
Yeah, and then to kind of circle back. Let's for fun do the fourth one. I think you're better than me in a lot of ways with the social stuff. Like you have friends you see pretty often. Lately, a struggle of mine, to be honest, is I need to figure out how to get out more and see people, because I'm becoming, like, I'm totally realizing that I'm an introvert. Like, it's like, but I've joked around before that I'm probably the most extroverted introvert I know, but now it's like, that is super, super fucking accurate, because I could stay inside, like, all the time. Like, I have to force myself to go outside and talk to people. I mean, I like going outside, but as far as talking to people and like going out there, it's like I don't really do it unless I really want to see somebody. And because I'm kind of in a friendship lull right now, I don't have a whole lot of friends that I love seeing. I could see you any day, but not with as many as I used to. I don't have people dragging me outside of the house anymore, I guess is what I'm saying. And because of that, I'm trying to figure out, you know, this fourth hobby, this social hobby that'll bring me out. And the podcast is probably mine, to be honest. This is obviously the most that I like. This is the only time I really like long for and talk to anybody at this point in my life, like where I sit down and talk to them for hours. I wish I could do this more.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping through the podcast. Man, this is about to sound so sad, but I'm hoping through the podcast I can make good friendships. I mean,
that's awesome.
It's an interesting place to do it too. It's like we're sitting down with potentially strangers. I mean, sometimes we'll know the guys a little bit, but even Zach, the guy that we were supposed to have on today, I don't know him super well.
And I don't know him at all.
You don't know him at all. And there are things that we're both going to learn about him that I've never even known about him in years. Because I don't think I've ever sat down and talked to them for 2 hours. I don't think that's ever happened. I think that doesn't happen with a lot of people. Even if they've known someone for years, it's like they may have never sat down with them and had like a long form discussion about anything. It's really interesting when you think about it.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Now I think about it, there's like so many people I've met, and even people I've hung out with on multiple occasions that I've never actually gone in a room, sat down, and just chit-chatted and learned about them.
In fact, the more we're talking about, this is actually a really rare occurrence. And think about, this is something that's just kind of happening now in our society. Think about how many people who haven't talked to their own parents for very long, their own siblings. I've never sat down with my sister and talked to her for 2 hours. Oh. And yet, this is something that you and I do on a regular basis now.
That's
extremely. That's really interesting. I'm sorry. It's just kind of like emerged in my mind. Like,
yeah.
Wow. Like,
and that's how it is for a lot of people.
I'm so happy that people are doing this in society now, and this is like an amazing side effect of the internet, because for a long time I don't think anybody knew that we could hold a person's attention this long. You know, I didn't think I could ever. I think the only times that I've had a conversation this long before were drug fueled. We're on LSD, Molly, cocaine. The very few times I've done cocaine a very long time ago, I definitely wanted to talk anywhere for a long time. So, but not as meaningful as this. And we're doing this sober. We're just sitting down. And
it's crazy how like incredible your mind can be, even just sober. Like you can do so much more like you think you can while sober.
Especially when you just like, there's also something to this long form discussion where like we're you know, bringing about thoughts that we wouldn't always, because we are trying to vocalize as clearly as possible everything that we're thinking.
Yeah,
you know,
I think
essentially.
I think the worst or like hardest part about this is when I like start vocalizing thought and I want to say 2 or 3 different things, but I can only say one thing at a time.
Yeah,
and then you're like, obviously you want to say things, and now I got like 6, 7 things in my head, or between us we want to say like 10 different things all at once, and you can't. And so now it's like, okay, we start talking and we're on a different tangent. So I'd say that's the hardest part.
These sort of realizations really affirm the idea in my mind that this is a skill. Communication is. It's like we all know that we all hear words like our phrases like communication skills, but until you actually like test them like this, I feel like you don't really understand, or at least I didn't really understand, you know, just how much of a skill this is. Like an RPG, like, you know, like my bar, my level is still not that great as a communicator, and yet I'm still probably better than a lot of like my friends and stuff, just because I've at least tried stuff like this. But man, it's gonna be, I don't know. Sorry, separate note. I'm so excited to see where we are 20 episodes down. Like, I wonder how much better we'll be.
Yeah, I'm sure there might be a huge difference between like now and 16 weeks from now.
Yeah,
which will be awesome. So awesome to see.
Seriously. So what's your what do you think's your social hobby? Yeah.
All right, let me.
You probably have more than me. I mean, you probably drink with your buddies.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like a couple here, because drinking.
Sometimes you get in a jerk off circle and you have a cracker in the middle, and last one to to finish on the cracker has to eat everybody's jizz on the cracker.
You know, like that's a piece of bread. I've used a piece of bread.
Is it still? At least, so it's kind of cracker.
No, but it's wheat. Well.
That detail does seem important.
It is.
I have to admit, yeah.
And like, we get a little crazy sometimes and toast it and throw some butter on there.
Why do you add the butter if it's already seasoned?
It's a combination of flavors. You know, like
okay, like another element.
Yeah. Like,
wait, so are you really trying to enjoy this piece of bread at this point? Because I thought the whole point was, I thought it was like, you know, sort of like a punishment. Not the way you view it.
It is what you make it, you know? Like, you gotta eat this piece of bread. Might as well enjoy it to the best of your ability. That's actually really
profound. The jizz bread really is like analogous to life.
Honestly, it really is jizz bread. The jizz bread philosophy.
Okay, so
you may be in some sticky situations, but you gotta make the most out of them. Throw some salt and pepper on it. I don't know. Some butter. Butter them up.
Butter. when you have 6 guys jizz on a piece of bread, add some butter.
Add some butter. When 6 guys give you jizz bread, add some butter.
Yeah. Like, or you should say when life gives you jizz bread.
When life gives you jizz bread.
Yeah. I love that we're like working this out on the podcast. Like, this is serious. Anyway, sorry. So you have a few. So yeah, you definitely have more social hobbies than mine. Mm-hmm. Just from the start, you drink with your buddies. You have the podcast. It's one we have in common. Mm-hmm. You have a girlfriend. That's huge. Actually, I mean that brings about a whole bunch of different things. I mean, one, you're attached to somebody.
But, so that's already social by nature now. I have to hang out with someone.
I have to. You're forced to hang out with that wonderful woman.
No, I enjoy it most of the time. Almost all the time. 99.8%. But other social hobbies is like, so drinking, and then like you say even more so like going out, like going downtown, going to a club or a bar. That's a super social hobby because I actually like to socialize with everybody I meet there. Like, that's one of my goals, is just to meet lots of people and just hang out. Just fucking, like you said, like, get drunk and dance is, like, fun. Like, I do that a lot. I go in there. I was dancing with, like, these gay dudes the other day. Like, just like, you guys are pretty cool. What's up? You know? Like, what's going on? Y'all want to dance? All right.
Y'all want to dance? I want to dance.
Yeah. It wasn't like, they weren't twerking on me, but, like, you know, we're just in a little circle, like, what's up, guys? What's going on? You know?
I love
this party started.
See, you know, you brought up a good point. Like, see, with me, I think this age I've been in for a little bit, this incredible age of 19 to 20, in America at least, is probably the hardest time to, like, make new friends for an introvert, especially. Because, I mean, I'm not in school. I haven't worked somewhere in a while where I've met somebody that I really want to hang out with. I do want to hang out with a guy that I worked with at Tuesday morning, or that I do work with at Tuesday morning, named Dom. He's going to be on the podcast. Super interesting guy.
Okay, cool.
Really into psychedelics. Super into Hunter S. Thompson. A lot of stuff like that. But yeah, I haven't met a lot of new people that I'm interested in lately, and I've kind of just grown out of a lot of people lately. And unfortunately, I can't drink legally yet. Therefore, I can't go to like a bar or a club.
Yeah.
And hang
they
out.
Always have the 18 up nights at certain places, but that's never fun.
Yeah.
I've never enjoyed
exactly.
One of those.
I'm definitely going to take advantage of that when I'm 21, even if I don't drink even by that point. Mm-hmm. I think what I'll do when I turn, kind of a side tangent, but I think when I turn 21, see, like, my whole sober thing is, don't do basically anything until I turn 21, but when that happens, I still don't want to get drunk recreationally, but I think I might, like, give myself, like, a 2-drink limit for when I go out.
Nice.
Because that allows me to have a little bit of a buzz. At least a little bit,
Especially if that's how much you drink and you're rarely drinking. That's, your tolerance is never going to get up super high.
Especially after a year of not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like, man, my tolerance is probably... I have a pretty naturally, like... I wouldn't say large tolerance, but I have, like, at least with beer especially, it takes me a lot more beers to get drunk than, like, most of my friends, but... Hard liquor, it's like, that'll hit anyone almost, unless you're like that one guy that was in the army with you that just was like, ridiculous.
We should have him on the podcast sometime.
I would love that.
He's a super cool dude.
Yeah, basically a total alcoholic, but he can, like, slam him down like crazy.
Yeah, it's like 110% like alcoholic, but
Probably a self-admitted.
Yeah, like he's admitted to not necessarily alcoholism, but having like symptoms of alcoholism.
Like drinking like 100 beers or something like that.
Yes, like 28 shots in one night.
Jesus Christ! I'm literally puking after like 6 now, probably.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe not, but I would say 8. 100% I am puking. Or maybe puke a few times and then come back and drink if I'm like just retarded that night.
Yeah.
Sorry, is that not politically correct? Retarded? I don't
make the rules, man.
I don't make the rules, they do.
Yes, whoever they is.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome guy, but he's also got a lot of introspective life ideas and stuff like that.
The type of guy that drinks that much must have experienced some shit.
You'd hope so. He's awesome, dude. I love that man to death. So we definitely try to get him on.
Let's have him on. That's already interesting enough. So yeah. I mean, anything else you want to add to that social hobby? Or I mean. Oh yeah. That's enough, Tristan. If you want to stop showing off. I am a loner and a loser, but you don't have to rub it in my face.
I guess we can hang out sometime. Yeah, I'd say I have a pretty decent abundance of social hobbies.
It's good.
I think one, I don't know. Sometimes I could get back into online games, like playing Xbox Live or something. I have not done that.
That is a very unique sort of thing.
Yeah.
And an Xbox Live community is so much better than like almost any other online community, I believe.
Is it? I wouldn't know.
I think so. They're at least the best when it comes to like casual, like let's get in a party and like hang out. Like
they make it so simple. Like you just send a little invite and you just hang out.
To my knowledge, it seems like that the PC gamers are like really serious and like they're more like the guys in the 90s who would get in a LAN party and like go to some guy's house and play Call of Duty or I don't know if Call of Duty. What was the game back then? I know what I'm talking about.
GoldenEye? No,
it's like one of those old army games. I think it starts with C, but it's like
Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike, yeah. The guys that would get in some guy's like basement, play Counter-Strike for 12 hours and like drink Mountain Dew. And I'm not saying that's all PC gamers, but I think they take it to like a higher level. Whereas Xbox, there's like, dude, let's just get into this. Let's just get into the party and like they'll just stay in the party. I've seen many people do this on Xbox. They'll like just like chill in a party and they'll play a game for a little bit and then they'll just like hang out and talk to everybody.
Yeah, I've done that multiple times.
Yeah, so I think that's super cool. And
it's a little interesting because you get together over a game that you all like to play, and you play together with friends, and like that's a super cool concept to me. I don't think it's something like I want to invest my life into. I used to do it so frequently, like in middle school. That's when I was like doing it the most. I was like, wow, hey guys, let's play some Halo or Modern Warfare 2.
Like GTA 5 when I first started playing it, that was when it really, really began. No, it was Black Ops 1 and then GTA 5. I was like meeting people online too.
And just playing with those guys.
Yeah, and we're like, hey, you're pretty good at zombies. Yeah. I also play GTA 5. Oh, sweet, let's
get together on that.
Let's get on there and rob a bank.
But that is a super cool social thing. Like you can meet people online and just play games. Somebody you haven't met before, but you can actually consider them like a friend of yours.
Because the peak of internet friendship.
Yeah, it's super cool to me. I don't know, it's a super cool concept. I like that a lot.
Seriously.
But not something that you want to get too invested into. You want to have an actual outside life as well.
Well, some people don't.
Yeah,
but I do. And
that's at least for me.
I think most healthy people.
If I want to give you advice, is like, don't just drown yourself in video games and Xbox Live or whatever.
Yeah,
but enjoy it.
See, that's the thing. That's why I'm excited to get like a guy like Spencer on the podcast because he like the video game guy. He used to do a lot of competitive Smash. He still does sometimes.
Nice.
But he's like so balanced and like healthy and well rounded. I'm like, man, you are just like a good guy. You got your shit together. You seem like very good at social stuff. He's got a I don't think he's married. He's got a beautiful girlfriend. He's like he's just got all his shit together. But he loves video games, and I think it's one of his favorite things in the world. Are video games, and that's what I hear from his other friends, like Steven, who's also going to be on the podcast. He told me that like even when they were like in high school, and I think they knew each other in middle school too. It's like he was always like the best at every game, and he was like super obsessed at points with games, and he still loves video games probably more than a lot of things, but he still has a balanced life.
Yeah, he's finally overcame the being overwhelmed with games, being too invested into it, and has like done more, but still loves games, still has a passion for it.
Isn't it kind of funny that it seems like you could solve any sort of philosophical or like self-problematic or like self-sabotage issues that you have with with the concept of finding balance Like, it's like, for any philosophical issue, it's like, we just gotta find the balance in it, man. You know, we
it's crazy.
Find the balance. But it's like, it's so true.
It's just so accurate.
Yeah, and it's
a little vague almost.
Yeah, see, it's vague because it's not as simple as just saying those words. You need to like do some serious, deduction,
There's a lot that goes into it,
and even some retrospection to like really figure out like, okay, what does that mean to find the balance in my life? Like in what areas am I so weak that I'm torturing myself, or I'm not as optimal as I could be, or whatever the case. Like, how am I hurting myself? How could I be better? It's like, in the end, you got to like figure out those weak areas that are destroying you.
Yeah, no, 100%. So I think, does that cover all 4?
Yeah. So because we paused for a sec too. On a side note, I think we should do a lot more stuff. Like, at least once per podcast, we should have like, especially with guests, we should have like a more formally like almost a segment similar where it's like sort of formally like written down, and we like almost go through something
like a list,
especially since our podcast seems to be like part of our interest is productivity, especially now.
Yeah. So
like we could always have like, it doesn't always have to be productivity, but it could be as simple as like, let's go over our top 5 favorite movies of this year or something like that.
Yeah, of course.
Because like what I was noticing and what made me love this segment is that like we'd take turns on things, but then we'd go off on tangents
and talk on it.
Yeah, like that was not planned at all. No. I thought that was gonna last like 5 minutes.
And it lasted like at least 20 minutes.
But that actually helped us not get like too lost on something, and in the future we could
circle back to the
exactly,
others, yeah.
And that would actually be good for if we start a podcast with a guest and it's just like not happening at first. This is something that could like break the ice.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I like it a lot. We should definitely always have at least
something
one,
like
if not more. A couple things.
Sorry, I totally noticed that and was like, that's a.
No, I noticed the same
thing
too.
That's like a technical thing for our podcast, like not as in technical equipment, but
like
as far as our skills, that's like like we need some. I guess you could say a catalyst again. That's been another word of the night, but a catalyst to really get us going.
And that's another thing is like when we start hopefully building more of a following, we can even ask people like, give them a little preview, like, hey, we're planning on having this type of guest. What do you want? What do you want here?
We could do that now, even, dude.
Yeah,
on Facebook, we could be like, hey, we're having this guest. Let's wonder if you have any Facebook questions. Like, if we have Steven on the podcast, still the most well-rounded 25-year-old, we should definitely go on Facebook and be like, what would be your questions for the most well-rounded 25-year-old that we know?
Yeah,
and a bunch of people would be like, shit, yeah, like, I was talking to...
then that's going to entice people to listen to it more, because they're going to see, like, whoa, what did they say to this?
Exactly. I was actually talking at the New Year's party I went to the other night, and I was talking to these guys that were both 24, and they were like, they, like, love these ideas, and they love my observations about, like, when you turn 25, everybody feels, like, these different things, these different, like, social
like
and biological obligations to, like, get their shit together, and they're like, I'm feeling that. Like, one of the guys just turned 25, and he's like, they're both named Logan too, which is funny. But
that's weird.
Yeah. Anyway, though, I won't get on that for too long. But let's see. I'll let you hold on to that in case you think something. But
okay,
I did want to bring up. I don't know if you saw it in my notes. But I wanted to bring up just how much I love our relationship in regards to like on New Year's Eve, really late. I was at that New Year's party, and you just start sending me like text after text, like there's great stuff. I almost want to like read it, but
really,
but I don't want to.
I know I was drinking that night.
Yeah,
but I know the first message I sent you I was sober for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The first message was just "I love you."
Wait. I feel like we need to pull these messages up. Okay. I'm kind of lost.
I think both our phones are probably off.
Yeah.
Your phone might come up a little faster, but
Alright, so start off with I love you. So I know I was a day late on your birthday because I remember your birthday, obviously. I'm not going to forget it. But I was like, I think that was the day I was shoveling a lot of snow, actually. This thing is not turning on.
So I'll get mine if you want.
Okay, yeah, go for it. But I remember seeing that, like, my mom said happy birthday to you on Facebook. I was like, oh yeah, I'll give him a call.
That was super sweet, too. I haven't talked to your mom in forever. It was very nice.
Because I'm going to give her a call later, or not her, him. I'm going to give him a call later and, like, talk to him for a few minutes, tell him, like, hey, what's up, I love you, man. Like, happy birthday. It was awesome. And then, I don't know, we did something and I completely spaced it. And the next day I felt terrible. I was like, man, I can't believe I forgot to say fucking happy birthday to my brother. Like, I'm the biggest dick on the planet. I was like, this fucked up. I felt so bad. I still feel a little bad.
It's starting this, man. Honestly, like it's. I don't apply that much sentiment to my birthday, so don't worry about that. But I did appreciate it, and it's like, I totally like. It's so rare that I would believe somebody's messages like that. Like it's like I assume that you were drinking that night, of course, because it was, especially since it was New Year's Eve, but. I totally believed every word, and I was like, "Yep, this guy loves me. I love him." Like, I don't know. You're such a brother to me. Like, it's crazy, you know. I'm just starting to get closer to my sister Sophia, but I'm still much closer to you, and like you would be like the first person I'd call, like if I was getting married or you know if I was about to die or something. I don't know.
Hey, I'm hanging out at this cliff, man. I love you, bro. Yeah, I remember feeling like I had to send something. And I had to send it as soon as I remember because I was like, I won't forget if I don't say anything right now.
Oh, yeah? So, it just came out, I love you. So, here, I'm pulling it up right now. Oh my god, I just saw our message earlier today talking about that new Spider-Man movie. Let's talk about that.
I was going to bring that up here soon.
Okay, good.
Yeah, without a doubt. Don't worry, I had that in the back of my mind this entire podcast.
Tristan and I are big Spider-Man fans. And also, this was like the greatest superhero movie I've ever seen, so we'll get into that.
Yeah, but, I was actually probably going to bring that up after this one or after the UFC topic. So yeah, without a doubt.
So I'll just, should I just read it like out loud? Yeah,
go for it. No shame.
So it starts with Tristan. He says, I love you. I said, I love you. I said, bro, like, I know it's not Thanksgiving, but I am thankful to have you as a brother and in my life. I said, same, my man. Incredibly thankful for you. I said, thanks, brother. I don't know where this came from, but I do want you to know I appreciate you. And you the same, my brother. He says, it's midnight here, so Happy New Year, so... Wait. It's midnight here, so Happy New Year, so Happy New Year. Okay, I'm gonna read this again.
Okay, if it was midnight there, yeah, I was definitely fucked up by that point.
It's midnight here, so Happy New Year's, so Happy New Year's, brother. hope we both succeed this year. It says, we will. And that's how that was.
Wow.
It's beautiful. So like that was like a... But sober or... See, like, that wasn't like empty drunk talk was the thing. That was like honest.
Yeah, honest drunk talk.
Because I'll be honest, I drank a little bit of New Year's. I did break my streak. That was the one day. The nice thing is, I drank and I felt a little guilty about it. But the next day, I had like no desire to like keep drinking or do anything else. I was like, yeah, that was a fun night, and that's all that was. So I'm still on track to not do anything until my next birthday. But regardless, yeah, like that was like we were both a little tipsy or drunk even, and that was just, I feel like the alcohol really just helped like bring that out of us and reminded us to tell each other, and the new year. Maybe I was feeling sentimental. It's the new year, and,
of course,
and you were too. And we're like, yeah, I'm so thankful for our brother. We're doing great things. This is gonna be probably our best year together.
I think so.
Like we're doing this podcast. Super excited. All these great guests. We're talking about maybe writing stuff in the future, making skits, like just really fun stuff.
Oh, there's so much we can cover this year. So, as you mentioned,
Spider-Man. Guess what I was reading today?
Spider-Man.
I was reading the scripts because on Reddit, it's one of the most searched after scripts. It was like one of the it was like a upvoted request. Because on Reddit there's requests you can do. It was an upvoted request for weeks. And then finally someone got it. And I immediately downloaded my Google Drive before I even saw the movie. I saw it late. I saw it like a week ago, I think.
Yeah.
I think it came out like a month ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it came out like mid-December.
Okay, yeah. So I saw it a little later than I wanted to because I was like, this looks fucking cool. Mm-hmm. And I remember like I read some of the old like Spider-Verse comics, and I also played there was like an old video game on Nintendo with the Spider-Verse stuff where you got to play as like 4 of them. It was like Spider-Man 3000, Spider-Man Noir, Carnage, and The Amazing Spider-Man.
Nice.
And it's so weird that I remember all that, but that was like that's like a really old to me now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it was impactful. I loved that line of comics and stories. But yeah, like this movie was way different than I thought it was going to be. I was ready to see it just for the novelty. I was like,
And then it was really, really, really good.
It was amazing.
And I was like, wow.
I mean, oh my god, dude! Like,
and even though it's an animated movie, I feel like it's just as good as any live action.
Dude,
film.
And the thing is, it's like I don't know, especially nowadays, how animation is becoming pretty well known. It's not just a kids thing like cartoons.
No.
Like animation, that's just another element you're adding to it. Like that's just. So, like, the animation in the new Spider-Man was comic book themed. I mean, it literally looked like, you could have taken it out of a comic book
and put it on screen.
And put it on the screen and move it. It's like, and they made that Adobe Photoshop.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Super cool.
It's super, the animation's almost super trippy, too.
It is. No, and I can tell you this, too. So I've been reading the script, obviously. I'm not done with it. I'm about halfway done with it. So, there's so many amazing, like, every part of that movie was like that's literally, I would consider that, to my best ability, a flawless movie. I'm not a movie critic, but I obviously love movies.
There's a lot to
I study screenplays and film, and dude, that's a flawless movie. The animation's amazing. The voice acting is amazing. The screenplay is one of the best screenplays I've ever read. Like, literally, it's a great piece of literature before it's even a film. And I'll get into that in a second, but what was I just saying? I was saying... sorry, I was trying to make a point. There's so many things about this movie.
You were saying it's a flawless movie.
It's a flawless movie. Okay, I lost my train of thought there, but let me just stick on the script for a second,
of course,
just because it's not insight that everybody looks into, or that not everybody.
Yeah,
wants
I've
to read
never thought about reading a script.
Yeah, exactly. But as a screenwriter, you kind of have to. But if you want to know what to do, but everything was just such a tight script. It moved like lightning. It does everything that you want a script to do. Like when you read it, like for example, when you read a script. When you're reading all the action and the dialogue, a script is supposed to be real time. This is where it differs from a novel. Like, a novel can drag on, certain paragraphs, and you can, because you get into the character's thoughts, and it expands on their thoughts. Because,
so you have, 3 pages that take place all in the span of, 1 minute.
Whereas a screenplay, you need to structure it in a way, every word, every sentence, literally.
That's what's happening.
Yeah, as it's happening. And that's a script that, as they say, reads like lightning. It's just so fast, but it's also it's got everything you need, and it's so vivid, and it's so funny, and I can tell that the screenwriter, whoever it was, maybe the editor helped or whatever, but I'll just say the screenwriter for this case. The screenwriter really looked at it as a piece of literature first, which is the mark of any good screenwriter. It's honestly what separates. But when I'm reading a script, because you can find amateur scripts on Reddit, and I'm obviously not a professional screenwriter yet, not a super experienced one, and I can tell the difference between somebody that's been doing this thing a long time and that's really experienced and amazing, and somebody that's amateur. And this guy, it's right when you start reading, this. Oh wow, this is literature before it's a movie. It's not only is it a guideline for the voice actors and the animators or the directors in this. It's it's an amazing read as you're reading it. I'm trying to think of an example of something I love. So in the first 15 pages, when Spider-Man or when Miles Morales first gets when he's first making his way down the street and you're just kind of you're just meeting him, and you're seeing his
and he's
life
talking to people, saying, "Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?" He's slapping stickers on walls.
So a little bit after this, when he meets when you meet the Uncle Aaron.
Oh yeah, Uncle Aaron.
So right before that, when he's in his room and he's all he's about to do his homework and he hit the paper and he's upset about that or whatever. No. He looks out the window and it's pretty much how it's written. He looks out the window and he gets a mischievous idea, I think is exactly how it's put in the script. And so right from there, as you're reading it, you're starting to get there's a lot of subtext that is almost too fast in the movie. It's it almost comes out more clearly on paper. And so he gets a mischievous idea, he looks out the window, and then he walks around a corner and he turns it. And as you're reading it, you fully understand what they're trying to say there. What they're doing is they're making you think that he's already Spider-Man, because up at this point in the story, you don't know if he's Spider-Man or not. You don't know what's happening. So he has this mischievous idea. And he turns the corner, brings his bag and everything. And so, as you're reading it, you realize, Like
he could be going out to do his Spider-Man thing.
That's exactly what you think is happening, actually. Yeah. Like you think he's going to go... for some reason, I think I missed that while watching. But
yeah, I missed that completely while watching.
But in the script, you're able to like read that and totally process it.
So that's designed for him to think... For the audience to think like, oh, he's Spider-Man.
Yeah, but then it smash cuts, which is like a hard cut in like in the film, to him like... pulling out his like art notebook or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but like that was like the essence of what they were doing. They were like misleading you to think he was already Spider-Man.
His costume.
It just was like it was like a refreshing flavor as you're like reading it, like, and that just affirmed it being literature. I'm like, oh, this is like a great script to read. It's like so many scripts I read just because I know they're good scripts. I don't actually enjoy them sometimes. Like sometimes I'm like, yeah, this has some snappy dialogue and there's some stuff for me to study from this script. But sometimes you get a script that's just like just candy to read.
You're just like, I love it.
I love it.
I just want to take it all in.
Like when I read The Hateful Eight. It's up here somewhere. I have it in paperback. Yeah, it's so cool. I get these sometimes. These paperback scripts.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's Quentin Tarantino movie. It's not my favorite film that he did, but it reads actually better than it comes out in film.
Really?
I literally sat down and read it all in a sitting, which I don't usually do with a script. Usually I'll like read it and take a break and like think about it. Sometimes I even go on a walk to think about like how the whole sequence or scene worked or whatever the case, what I liked about it. But I just sat there and just read it from front to back like, oh my god, this was better as
a script.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that's the case with Spider-Man, but it's like that good.
That's awesome.
It's that amazing, yeah.
And that movie was amazing. It was so good. Like
seriously,
the characters are. It's so awesome.
I'm so excited for the next one.
The biggest twist for me... Are they making a new one?
I mean, how could they not? They have Miles Morales now. I feel like they have to, but...
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe they won't. It would be amazing as a standalone thing, but like that's also a movie that I don't think would be hindered by having a sequel.
No. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be a Spider-Verse sequel. It could be just a Miles Morales sequel.
I love him. I love the aesthetic. When he got his suit at the end, I almost jizzed myself.
No, the suit was so sexy.
How he spray painted it, I was like, oh my god,
it was dude. Badass suit.
This is the coolest fucking superhero movie ever.
Yeah, so cool.
How is it not?
When he's standing on top of the sky... when he's standing on top of the skyscraper, and that song "What's Up Danger" comes on, he jumps off the building, and he shoots his web at the last second before hitting the ground. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, dude,
awesome.
their themes, like so many good scripts too. The themes were established early, like like what things he was gonna have to overcome, how like real Spider-Man he gets up, and I don't know. There were so many like things that were established early that were fulfilled later on.
The biggest thing was Spider-Man. No matter how many times I fall, I always get back up, and that carries on through no matter which Spider-Man there is. That is one thing that they are about. I was like, and that is Spider-Man to the T. Is like Spider-Man is not necessarily known for like always being the biggest or the strongest or like crazy like most.
I don't think he's ever known for that. I think he's always the smaller one.
Yeah, always is.
That's kind of the thing.
Yeah, but he's kind of no, he's not the thing.
No, the thing is the X-Men. fucking poser. Sorry.
No, it's all. But he's always known for having that heart and that will, and just being like doing the right thing.
Yeah,
which is awesome. So
another thing I love, one of my favorite little lines from the movie is when Jefferson, his dad, is like what does he say? He's like explaining how he doesn't like Spider-Man and like he's relating that to Miles and his whole like school thing, and he's like, remember, he doesn't say with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah,
he says it wrong.
He says with great capability comes great.
Oh, what is it? I don't remember the line verbatim.
Like literally reading the script, it just made me laugh even harder than in the movie. Like the movie was also hilarious.
It was so funny. The characters were so dynamic.
There's a lot of things about Hollywood that I hate, but one thing that I do like about Hollywood that every movie is doing now is realizing that you can't just do one genre to make a masterpiece. Like you have to
at least have like essence of a little bit of a lot of different things.
And yeah, like you at least need to like mix it up to make it seem more human, because never is a story
just one thing,
all just sad, all just dramatic, like, or maybe like, and even if it's like the most tragic thing, there's always like something funny about it almost, or like sometimes the best funny moments are the moments that you shouldn't be laughing at. They're the moments you should be crying.
Yeah, one line that I love in the movie is when Miles comes in back to Aunt May's house, and he's like, the Prowler is my uncle, and the Norse Spider-Man goes, that's a pretty hardcore origin story. Because it really is like an intense origin story.
That's Nick Cage, too.
Yeah.
That's Spider-Man or...
That was Nick Cage? Okay.
You didn't even know that?
No.
Oh my god.
I knew Nick Cage was in the movie. I was like, I couldn't recognize his voice.
That's hilarious,
I looked at my friend, or I looked at Janet last time I watched it. I was like, Nicolas Cage is in this? I've seen it twice now. I was like, I wonder who he is.
That's so funny.
That's hilarious.
Also, I also loved the novelty of... he also did a great job. He's become a really good voice actor from his work on the show Big Mouth on Netflix. But John Mulaney, probably one of the best younger comedians of our time, and also he was a writer on SNL for like 7 years too. Yeah, John Mulaney, he did Peter Porker.
Oh, that's a good Peter Porker.
He was so good.
Peter Porker was a character, no doubt.
That's all it was supposed to be. It was like a fun character.
So when I first saw the trailers, I was like, this looks pretty fucking cool. And I saw Peter Porker, I was like, I don't know. And then I kind of liked it. It was definitely an entertaining character.
And he wasn't just like, he wasn't only a comic relief too. Like, it was like it was just...
He actually had some serious moments.
Well, yeah, and it was also like testifying just how crazy all the different worlds are and how different some of the worlds are. But also... And which, of course, in contrast, makes it interesting how like similar some of them were. I thought Spider-Woman was super cool. I like that she was younger. In the Spider-Woman comics that I at least read, I'm not a huge comic book guy, but I read a lot of the popular ones. I read a lot of Batman and a lot of Spider-Man. I wish I would have read some other cool stuff like Hellboy. And I really want to read Hellboy because I learned that that's a story that actually ends. So I was like, oh, interesting. I think the best stories end too. So that's like, But anyway, as I read on Spider-Man, and Spider-Woman was like always older. I don't know, and I just liked this portrayal. I liked the costumes. I don't know. There's so much I could say about this movie.
There's so much.
The aesthetic was amazing. Everything was amazing. Oh my god.
That's cool. I love going into it.
I think I would call this a masterpiece. I'm sorry, I just have to put that out there real quick. Yeah. I think this was a masterpiece. Like, I don't know how they could have done it better. Like, honestly, it was so good.
It was really good. I don't have like almost any negative feedback. I think like a spoiler alert, like one of my favorite things is going into the movie, kind of unprepared for like how they're gonna do the different dimensions and stuff, and seeing like, oh, I was like, okay, that's Spider-Man. Like the very first Spider-Man, you see Peter Parker Spider-Man,
and
he's blonde, and you don't see that like you shows it flashes that he's blonde, but I didn't really pay attention to that. I was like, oh, that's Spider-Man.
I definitely noticed it, but I was like, okay, that's just how he is in this one.
Yeah,
you know?
And I didn't really notice it until like towards the end when they show like Peter Parker dead. I was like, why is he blonde? Like that was like a big question to me. And then you see like the Peter Parker that we actually know like with the brown hair, and he's old and he's like fat. And it's hilarious. He's got a dad bod. I was like, oh man, that's the Peter Parker. And I love the pay to homage they do with the beginning. He's like, I did this, and he's showing like the scenes from like the Sam Raimi trilogies, like this.
Yeah,
and also,
I love how it's written in the script too. I just have to add that, like he writes it exactly as like, and then he does the. And then he dances just like how he did in Spider-Man 3. He literally writes it like that.
Yeah. And he does the dance. He's like, does the snaps. We don't talk about that. I thought that was awesome. I was like, that is amazing.
I was so looking forward to you coming back so I could talk to you about this movie because nobody that I've talked to yet has appreciated it as much as me. Like I saw it. I saw it with my dad, and it's like he was like, yeah, that was pretty good, but. I don't know, it's like, I was like, dude, that was amazing.
That was awesome. I'm such a huge Spider-Man fan. I've gotten away from it a lot, like the Spider-Man and all the...
I think because there hasn't been a good movie in a while.
Yeah, and then it's just perfect timing. They came out with the Spider-Man Homecoming, which is, I don't know if you've seen it, it's really good.
I didn't see it, no.
It's an awesome Spider-Man movie. It's really good. They do Peter Parker so well. It's not an origin story. He's already Spider-Man, and so now him being a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and in high school still, is like sophomore high school. Definitely we'll have to watch this.
This is the one with the what's his name?
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. Yeah. Is he pretty good? Would you say? I saw him in Ant-Man, and I was like, okay, but I wasn't definitely. I don't think it was his fault though. I think that was just like not a great movie, but
yeah, he is definitely a really good portrayal of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. He does a good job at both. We're gonna have to hang out sometime probably this weekend and watch that movie together.
Let's do it again. Man.
Yeah, definitely
break it down a little bit.
Yeah, it's really really well done. And I don't know why I kind of got lost talking about it. I don't know where I was at the start of this conversation. But the Amazing Spider... Oh, yeah. The appreciation for Spider-Man kind of is all coming back because that movie came out. Obviously, you have the whole Avengers and MCU is going on right now. He's a huge part of it. Had that huge traumatic scene at the end of Infinity War.
I still haven't seen it. It's on Netflix. I'm so uninterested in superhero movies anymore just because I just watched, like, back-to-back awful shit. Thor became awful.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, Iron Man 3 sucked. I don't even remember all the different ones, but I just remember being like, oh, this is just getting worse and worse.
Yeah, there's some I've seen.
The Amazing Spider-Man sucked. I hated fucking, what's that
Garfield.
British guy's
Andrew
name?
Garfield.
Yeah, Garfield. Yeah, Andrew Garfield I think was the worst Spider-Man ever. I was like, you were just, ugh.
Yeah, I don't know if that's all his fault.
I just think it was bad casting. I think it was bad. Not throwing shade at his acting. I just think it was a bad casting choice. I don't think he's
I think he is a good actor.
Yeah, undebatably. Like, I loved him in Social Network, especially. I recently watched that and I was like, wow.
That's a really good movie, too.
Really good drama, yeah. One of my favorite screenwriters, too. I love Aaron Sorkin. But yeah, Andrew Garfield, that's just like a casting mistake. Like, he's just like, I would instantly look at him and be like, dude, you're too, like, sharp-edged, like, pretty boy, like, Twilight-esque sort of thing. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's not the case with Tom Holland at all. Like,
no, he's like...
Tom Holland is super relatable. It's awesome.
He's obviously like a real pretty boy, like a handsome guy. But also, I don't know. There's certain facial features and stuff that I feel like matter. Like, I don't know. I'm not like a casting expert, but I feel like I look at his face and the first thing I think is like, maybe I'm overthinking this specific thing, but I'm like, he's got like a more like round feature to him, and like there's almost like a more like inviting, like relatable thing. Whereas like Andrew Garfield, he looks like he was sketched with like a thin pen. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm so stupid sometimes. No, but I don't know. To put it simply and not sound like a total idiot anymore, it's just a bad casting choice. Andrew Garfield. Tom Holland, I would look at him and be like, yeah, that could easily be Spider-Man. I am, to be honest, I haven't seen it really tested yet, so maybe I do need to see Spider-Man Homecoming. I did hear good things about it.
It was really good. I know, like, in the past, one of your things has been like, the choreographed fight scenes you have not been a fan of in like the other MCU movies. I know you
some of them. That. I liked them in Captain America 2.
Yeah.
Those are fucking
cool. With GSP and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one, they're pretty good because it's Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man being Spider-Man.
I have less expectations with Spider-Man is the thing. I mean, I don't want them to look like ridiculous. Ridiculous isn't even a good word. I want them to still look cool, but that's all it is with Spider-Man. I'm like, I want there to be like creative web use and just like
and there is. They definitely do a lot of cool stuff with it, and
humor too. Like he does humorous things,
and it's really funny. The funniest part is because he's still like at this point he's like 15. He's like a kid being Spider-Man, and he's like saying stuff like this dude was like, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's like one part so he's like trying to call like somebody. He's like, yeah, I helped this lady. I give this lady directions a day. She bought me a churro. And then he like hangs up the phone and is like, why did I say something about the churro? And he's eating it like, just like teenager stuff. So he's pretty funny. He does a really, really good job.
That's good, but when he becomes Spider-Man, is he like more confident and like, like he's more outspoken and stuff? Cause I always liked that dynamic with Spider-Man. How he's like, it's harder for him to be Peter Parker than it is for him to be Spider-Man. When he's Spider-Man, he's like, fuck yeah!
Yeah, so he is. He's like a kid Spider-Man. Like there's a part like somebody sets off their car alarm trying to, like, this is just a simple part, not a huge spoiler.
Yeah.
They're trying to use a clothes hanger, trying to get in the car, stops the alarm or whatever. Spider-Man webs into the car. He's like, yeah, man, you shouldn't try to break into people's cars. And then the dude's like, this is my own car. And he's like, It's like super funny. Or he finds somebody who's stealing a bike. He's like, hey guys, he's just walking down the street. Is this your bike? Is this your bike? He's like trying to find somebody whose bike it is. And he writes a little note. He's like, is this your bike? ? If not, don't steal it. Spider-Man.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. I really like that. That's great.
Mm-hmm. So they do a fantastic job with it. But also what came out was a Spider-Man game on PlayStation 4.
That's right, yeah.
And I fucking love that game. It's like...
You still gotta bring it over for me.
I will. So I just bought the DLC for it.
Oh, okay, so yeah, so I'm still playing it still,
yeah. Because they just released the third DLC, and they also put out the free... a free DLC, which is the Sam Raimi Spider-Man costume from the original movies. which is like, I have to play in that. That's a suit. That's a badass suit right there. And so I just
wait, which one is it from?
The first 3 movies.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the suit from those ones. Because I always liked that suit. I was like, that's a cool suit.
Yeah. What was your favorite out of that trilogy?
I'm always in between 1 and 2 on that one.
Yeah.
I think I like
if you
1
say 3,
the most.
You're probably a psycho. But
I liked 3. It gets a lot of hate. But
I think it was the worst one though by far. Like I think it had like the most boring story and stuff. Like 1 and 2 felt so like iconic. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about
2, the scene in 2, where he is stopping the subway train or whatever. Like that is like
that's like drama.
That's iconic.
That's like drama at its finest, right?
Yeah,
there. Like it's like so
scene.
suspenseful. Like oh no.
And then when he like falls into the civilians' arms, the people's arms, and they carry him like I don't know what they say, but they're like it was a super touching scene.
Yeah.
So
did I tell you when I was that series kind of reminded me like that franchise of movies. When that was all like out and really popular, I actually had like a big old. I used to be super into collecting stuff. Mm-hmm. Like I had just all kinds of collections, and I was really into Spider-Man, and I had like this whole like bookshelf full of Spider-Man stuff. Like I was like really OCD about collecting like my money. I keep saying OCD, and I'm probably misrepresenting it, so sorry about that. But I was really obsessive about collecting money and buying what I could. Now it's like hard for me to say, which is funny. But I would like go snow shoveling, make like $200 in a weekend sometimes. Like great for like a little kid, and I'd spend it all on Spider-Man stuff, like just random action figures and stuff. But I had a whole bookshelf just full of Spider-Man stuff and comics, and like I just think it's so funny. It was like just Spider-Man too. Like I never was just like a broad superhero fan. Like I was
just like a Spider-Man.
It was like Spider-Man, and then when I got to before middle school, like 4th and 5th grade, it was like Batman, and then just kind of like fell off of comics, except for like I would occasionally get like one of those like longer books, and I read through those.
Like,
but yeah,
almost like a graphic novel kind of thing.
I think like I totally stopped comics when I got to high school though, because I was like too busy being cool.
Can I smoke with you guys?
Can I smoke with you guys? I don't read Spider-Man anymore. I promise.
Yeah. But the game, oh man, it's so good. It's so good. I will bring that over when I finish with the DLC. It's
Do I need
amazing.
to see like the movie first? Cause
no, it's unrelated to the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like Peter Parker. He's out of high school. He's been Spider-Man for a while now. He's already he's dealt with like Electro. He's dealt with like a bunch of villains already. He's got them put away in Rikers and all that. Like he's experienced Spider-Man. And you swing around the city. It's so much fun.
Can you drop a few of the enemy names that you get to face in it? You don't have to tell me all, but give me 2. Give me 2 exciting ones. Do you face Rhino?
Yeah, you face Rhino.
Cool.
And I'll say Scorpion.
Scorpion. It's so weird. You always face Scorpion in the games, and you like never see him in the movies.
Yeah, it is weird, but he is there's a lot of interesting villains. There's like
I can't remember. Dr. Connor is a Scorpion, right?
No, Dr. Connor is Dr. Octopus.
No, that's Dr. Octavius.
Oh, yeah, that is Dr. Octavius.
Dr. Connor is
I don't know why, Dr. Connor is the lizard.
There you go.
I don't know why. I can't believe I fucked that up.
No, it's fine.
Too many doctors and animals.
Doctors?
It's like, I'm like picturing like 4 blanks and 4 names, and you gotta like draw them to each other. You know what I'm talking about?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like lizard, Connor, Octopus, Octavius. That one's kind of easy. Octavius, Octopus with arms.
Speaking of Dr. Octavius, I thought the female portrayal was awesome of Dr. Octavius in the new Spider-Man. I just thought that was so interesting, and also like
they made her like a female.
They used that to make you not expect it. Like they didn't. It wasn't like an arbitrary let's change the gender of this villain to be PC. It was like no, that was a tactic for suspense that also not suspense as much, but of a twist that also makes sense because they're in a different dimension.
Yeah, it does make sense. And then they're like, "What's your name again?" And like, holy shit! Like that bitch is Doc Ock.
Fuck. I love it.
But to circle all the way back into Spider-Verse is a fucking amazing movie, and I love the soundtrack to it too. It's really good.
Seriously, like. That's another thing we didn't even mention is that the score was amazing. Oh, I remember what I was this is like way too late now, but I remember what I was trying to say earlier regarding the script and something that you said. It was that you brought up how the animation was trippy.
It is,
and it's cool because even in the scripts before they even had a concept for animation, they put in the script like things that inspire trippy animation. Like for example, when he's bit by the spider, it literally says something along the lines of. It's like a psychedelic animation begins and then he explains the entire sequence of like what's happening through his brain. And, like I don't know how to describe it, but like where it's like showing like it going through his blood.
Where the white blood cells or whatever.
Yeah.
Is like expanding, it's multiplying and stuff like that.
And changing colors.
Yeah.
And it's like he literally put like a psychedelic animation. I thought that was interesting. You don't see that described in scripts, and I don't know if, like for some reason just the word psychedelic has obviously the connotation of drugs to me. So I'm like, that's cool to see that in this. It was sort of children's movies.
Yeah, it was like script. It was pretty. The entire animation, like, especially when the towards the end of the movie, once we get spoilers. The buildings are colliding with each other and they're fighting on these buildings. It's just kind of random platforms.
Like, holy shit, dude.
I was like, I want to watch this on drugs. That would be crazy, you know? Like,
I seriously will probably see that movie like over 10 times in my lifetime. Like.